God damn you, little microphone.
Snake? What's wrong? Answer me, please! Snake? Snake! Welcome to the Sunday Movie Marathon. I'm Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson from the hit movie Rampage.
I'm Snake.
I'm Snack.
And yeah, we're on episode 71 now, and we're doing video game movies. How does it feel?
Not very good.
What, video game movies? Yeah, it feels fun.
It feels like how we thought it was going to feel.
Yeah. Fun.
Little. It's been a while since I've watched a video game movie, to be fair. I mean,
And we know why.
I mean, I avoid them like the plague, obviously, because they're not good. But we'll get into that. We got some. I mean, how the hell have you guys been? Have we been snakes?
Yeah, not bad. It's just. Yeah.
You couldn't say that sounding more worn out.
Yeah,
I think everyone's just worn out.
This is it. It's only Wednesday, and it's been a.
It's only Sunday, and it's been a Wednesday.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, it's. I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We went out a bit, saw a couple of movies.
Mm-hmm.
And when did we watch these movies? The video game ones was like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
What a day! Luckily, it wasn't like really sunny outside, because that was the thing when we watched the Beverly Hills Cop marathon, where it was like really sunny outside. We just like fucked off the marathon, went to the beach.
Sometimes I wish it was a sunny day, because then we could have fucked off the marathon and went to the beach.
Sometimes you just want that, yeah. But no,
It was really bad.
it was not a nice day. It kind of mixed with the mood of the movies.
It was a
Goddamn.
slog.
No. So a couple of episodes ago, well, I say that, we're on episode 71 now. So 6 episodes ago, we did The Crown, season 1. Have you guys been carrying that on?
Not yet, but we will.
Yeah. It was
I
a
just
good
keep
one.
waiting for Chris. I could watch it.
We've not really watched any TV show in the last couple of weeks, to be fair.
Yeah.
We've
No.
kind of just been watching like just YouTube and shit.
Yeah, we're watching a lot of Kit Boga.
Yeah.
I keep thinking his
YouTube
name-
who like pranks like phone scammers.
Cool. Well, I have been watching The Crown.
No.
And let me tell you, it's bloody good. I mean, we already knew that the first season was good. Going in it when we reviewed it. Reviewed the first season for the podcast. And I did carry on with it. And boy, let me tell you, it's like one of my favourite shows now. It's fucking great. And we said in that episode, like, oh yeah, season 2 and 4 are supposed to be the best ones, but season 3 not that good. I just kind of thought it got progressively better as it went on.
Okay.
And so in season 3, we get like a new cast of characters because they're kind of aging these people up to tell a story that spans, God, nearly a century. So I guess they've got to age them up a lot. I actually only found out today that season 4 is the last season with the current guys, the actors.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I guess they're doing
okay.
like 2 seasons per
Like,
actors.
era or
yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, and I think
Okay.
they've said season 6 is going to be the last.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, it would have to be because they ended season 4 and it was like the 80s, I think. So,
Okay, yeah, there's only so much further
Yeah.
you can go.
Yeah, I think the next 2 seasons are like Diana, that sort of era.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, obviously, a lot of it. I think it was like a lot of it's quite controversial in terms of like the royal circles. Like I don't really expect. You don't really expect them to watch it, obviously.
No.
Because it's like
they?
their life. I think I never want to like come across as though like I believe these people to be like the exact replications of like who they're portraying, because it's clearly not. It's obviously going for like drama. It's like fictionalized for drama. They're just like stories that are based on things that happened. Sometimes they're true and sometimes they're not. So like, I don't know. I never, when I'm like empathizing with these characters, I'm never like, oh man, I like the royal family. It's like, no, that's not what's happening. These guys like, I think, so when it changes over, and the actors become Olivia Colman and Tobias Menzies and Helena Bonham Carter and all those guys, all those crazy characters. I was thinking, you know, I've come to a point where like at the end of season 2, I'm like really invested in these characters and like really invested in like the actors who are portraying these characters. I'm like, it's not going to be as good, is it? And for like the first, I don't know, couple of episodes, it's quite an adjustment period for season 3 because you are getting adjusted and more attached to these new actors that are coming in. And like, I already really love Olivia Colman and Tobias Menzies and Helena Bonham Carter, all those guys. They're really great actors. I had no doubt they were going to do a really good job. I think I never really see the actors though. The acting is really fucking good the whole time. I don't think anybody puts on a bad performance at all. And this is like Netflix's like holy grail. I think they've really fucking struck gold with this one. I mean, they're not going to carry on forever, obviously, but if they pull off these last 2 seasons, this is going to be like such a triumph. I think, yeah, it's just like really well received. So like obviously we've got the new batch. So you got Olivia Cole. I was kind of like on edge because like they're quite unlikable for a lot of like the 3rd season.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking these guys, I don't actually really like them. But that's kind of what they're going for. They're not really supposed to be making you feel like you like the characters or like the royal family. They really kind of go in with it. With like, yeah, these people, sometimes they're kind of fucked up. Sometimes what they're doing is like horrible. And so they kind of lean into like the darker parts of the royal family, I think. And, you know, sometimes it's what happens was actually what happened. Sometimes it's just there for fiction. But obviously, when you're telling a drama, that's what you need. There was like one of the episodes, I think, it might have been in the 4th season. There was like it was based on a true story with this guy, this like working class guy, like broke into Buckingham Palace and like stood in the Queen's bedroom for a while.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
And he did it twice.
What, like just looking at her?
Yeah. And I think...
Okay.
So like the first time I don't think she was there, or at least that's what happened in the show. I think I looked up a bit about it. I think the first time, I don't know if she was there. But the second time she was there. And I guess we never know what actually they've said to each other. But in the show they actually do go that extra mile and have them talk to each other. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh.
But it was like... It was kind of like a horror, like a thriller episode. I was like on edge the entire time.
Yeah, that was really fucking weird.
I think with like it might have been the 2nd season or the 3rd season, where it's like the most like dour episode possible. It's like this like cave-in at like a mine in Wales. And, like so many people die, so many kids die. It's absolutely horrible. It's really emotional. And they follow it up in the next episode and it's like played like a comedy where like Margaret's trying to entertain guests. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, maybe...
But I like how they can kind of juggle that within the show and it never feels inauthentic.
Yeah, you can't have too much depression in one show.
No, you need a bit of brevity, you know, because otherwise it's like, or levity even, because otherwise it's like, oh fucking hell, it's like such a slog.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, oh, we love our dramas here in the UK, but like,
Not
we
that
love feeling
much.
fucking depressed all the time. No, sometimes you need something a bit lighter. I do think they managed to tackle that very well, all throughout the show, really.
So it comes highly recommended.
I think it does. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to turn you into a royalist by any means. I don't think it's trying to. But yeah, I just think, fucking hell, what a brilliant show. It's like, it's obviously like the music's still great and all the set design and all the costumes, fucking fantastic. I just think, yeah, this one I mean, everybody's fucking watched it already, obviously, but it is really bloody good, and people are watching it for a reason. I've also found, like, I'm always, like, interested in how, like, different people are going to be portrayed. I think, like, so Gillian Anderson comes in, I think on the 4th season as Margaret Thatcher. Fucking hell. She's really good. Just like, I mean, I don't know. I guess I would have to watch more interviews with like Margaret Thatcher, but I don't really know what she was like.
Yeah, everyone just says she was a piece of shit, basically.
Past all the atrocities, I don't really know what she was like. But
is that what she's like in the show? Like,
she was definitely a divisive character.
Okay.
And there's like I guess there was like a point to her being the first female prime minister that kind of go within the show, but they don't make it seem like she was amazing.
Mhm.
And there are parts that I wish they'd have kind of gone into a bit more, because like her whole thing was like the 80s and the 90s. It was like fucked up what she the kind of troubles that were in well, literally the troubles in Ireland that that were going through at the time, and also about like the Falklands War as well. It was like really, she like basically sent us to war, and I don't know, say what you will about whatever happened there. I mean, I don't know all that much about it. I think if you cast your mind back, Chris, you might remember a time on this podcast where we talked about the movie Official Secrets, and there was a point they made in that movie of the sinking of an Argentine ship, and they amended the Official Secrets Act to kind of stop that leak. That meant that it was basically this leak that showed that like they went to war illegally, sort of, or like the sinking of the ship was illegal.
Oh.
And they don't go into that in this show. It was like a little tiny brief thing where they mentioned that the ship had gone down on like a radio. I feel like probably there was like a missed opportunity there. But I mean, it's so like heavy with everything else that was going on. I guess they didn't have time to go into everything that went on. But yeah. One thing I will mention is that I really liked the depiction of Diana, and I don't like, I guess she was quite a complicated person, and that's why everybody liked her. And they really lean into that in the show. And we talked about Spencer and Kristen Stewart's portrayal of Diana in that movie, which I really love. Actually, I watched that movie again very recently after I saw The Crown, and Emma Corrin, who depicts her in The Crown. I think she's just doing like a really fantastic job with the character, and there are points where certain episodes will start with like a trigger warning for eating disorders. I just thought like everything they were kind of doing with like her storyline was like really engaging. But yeah, I would like recommend it just on that alone. Honestly, her acting was fantastic. I also didn't realize that Emerald Fennell was in this playing Camilla like the entire time, and then after I finished it, I was like, oh, it was fucking Emerald Fennell. I completely didn't realize that was her. I didn't know what she looked like. But yeah, she was really good. They kind of make Charles kind of gross. So yeah, if you want to see a gross kind of depiction of Charles, I would say watch it. Yeah, really good. I mean, I'm not going to rate it. I would say like 10 out of 10 for the whole show as it is, to be honest. There's like not really much I can fault it for. I mean, it is like TV, so there's obviously going to be like some that don't really hit as much as others, but I think for what it is, it's very consistent. Yeah, I would recommend it a lot.
Nice. Yeah, we will carry it on. Just haven't got around to it yet.
So who knows when?
We'll see. So we watched some other movies. We went to the cinema last week.
I don't remember when it was. Last Friday? Saturday?
Yes, Friday.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe we might be a bit hazy on the details. I didn't make notes immediately after, so I've got like a few. But we saw that one, the Sean Baker one. I think it came out last year, but we're only getting it now.
It's a case of it was like in film festivals, but it's only just gotten a wide release around the world now.
Yeah, so the movie we saw was it's not called Red Lobster. It's called
Lobster.
Red Rocket, or as our cinema might have coined it, Red Rocker. That's what was on the cinema tickets and on the screens at the cinema. So that was fun. So yeah, Red Rocker. It's a Sean Baker one. Sean Baker. Yeah, and he went. Yeah, so this is a movie about some guy called I forget his name.
Mikey Saber.
Yeah. He was like he's like a has-been porn star. He goes back to his home in Texas to see his wife, who is a strange wife who lives with her mother.
Mm-hmm.
They live in this kind of small little house, and he's down and out. He needs somewhere to live. They fucking hate his guts, but they take him in anyway because he promises that he'll pay rent and like fix up the place. It's kind of so it's about like him and his relationship with his wife, but it's also about this other girl who he meets at the donut place, who works at the donut place, and she is 17?
Yes.
And
A few weeks away from 18.
Yes, obviously very important to state that. She's a few weeks away from 18, and he likes her a lot. And it's basically a movie about this paedophile.
I was waiting for Max to point out that her name is quaintly named Strawberry.
Yeah, she's called Strawberry. Fucking hell, yeah. What a name.
I don't remember her real name.
And he's like, yeah,
Began with an A, didn't it?
she's so great. She could do porn. I'm going to make her do porn. And it's like, oh, man. What?
Yeah, these barely
This is
legal
like
films
it's
are
such a cringy movie.
too much.
All the time. Oh, God, it was gross. There was like, at the beginning of the movie, there was like some girls in front of us, and like they had like stolen someone's seats. And if you guys remember, if you cast your mind back, and like
I remember.
People came on, they were like, "You're in our seats," and then like the movie had started, and they were.
And then they got up and just
got up, and then they like,
just stole someone else's seats
like,
on the other side.
Stole someone else's seats. I don't know what they were doing. And then they like one of the girls, I guess, had forgotten her bag, so she like went back. Took a.
It was awkward because the whole time I thought they were going to come and like tell us that we were sitting in the wrong seats, and I was just like, "Why are you hovering here?" It's just weird. Yeah,
it was awkward, and it only got more awkward as the movie progressed.
It's true.
Yeah. One of them was like a 40, 50-year-old man, and he was loving it. He couldn't stop laughing throughout the whole film.
I don't know who you're talking about.
The guy sat directly in front of us.
Nah.
I mean, it is like a comedy, right?
Yeah. It's funny.
It's going for comedy. I mean, you'd have to for what you're showing. Otherwise, it's going to be like really dark and obsessive and like cringe. You know, you just feel like disgusting the entire time. So I guess like adding comedy will kind of lighten that.
I did enjoy that. It opened up with "Bye Bye Bye."
Yeah, that was a song that's like a recurring motif throughout
I'm a big
the film.
fan.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. As soon as it started, I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
right.
that's what I did.
I was kind of skeptical about it because I'd only seen Tangerine before from Sean Baker, and I did not like that movie. But this is better than Tangerine in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, for one thing, it wasn't shot on an iPhone, so it doesn't look like complete shit.
It's not as annoying as iPhone.
It's not as annoying, no. It's annoying in different ways.
It's still quite a loud movie, I'd say.
I don't
that's
think it's
kind
that
of
bad.
his style. He has like characters that like basically constantly talking and arguing and having a go at each other. That's kind of just what he does.
He clearly likes the breakdown of relationships.
Yeah. I don't know. I just I mean, it's like I don't feel like it needed to be as long as it was. It was like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I was like,
yeah, there were
this
points
is such
where I
a
thought
kind
this
of
is
simple story that you're telling.
It felt long.
Yeah, I was like, what are we just gonna? I felt like it could have had a bit more forward momentum because, like, as soon as like he sees this girl and like they like go on a few dates, I guess I was like, okay, well, what's happening? And when's he gonna get caught for being a paedophile? No,
That's
he never
what I thought
does.
was going to happen.
Yeah, because it's legal in Texas. The age of consent is 16 in Texas, so
but
like
it's
I
still
said,
gross.
it's
gross,
legal, but it's barely legal.
I just wanted someone to be like, you're gross, man.
Yeah, like even that
really
next door
weird.
neighbor was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool."
Yeah, but he was like,
He was also gross.
yeah.
Yeah, that scraggly motherfucker. Oh my god.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say I feel like it's too long. I think it just spends too much time focusing on like just the graphic sex. I don't think there's enough time spent delving into who this person is, because whenever they like delve into him and like do basically like a character study and like kind of explore his mind and who he actually is, that stuff's really, really interesting. And I would have liked to have seen more of that. I wouldn't even have a problem with its length if they had gone more into that sort of thing.
Yeah, perhaps. I found him to be a really interesting character, as much as like I fucking hated the guy.
Yeah.
He was played really bloody well. Really great acting. Who plays him?
Simon Rex. It was really, really surprising to me because before this, he's basically only acted in really low budget, bad comedies. Like I've seen him. He's in like scary movie films.
Oh,
Right.
I thought you were going to say he was in like low budget porn.
He
films
was
or
in
something.
porn as well. That's how
Do
he
you know what?
started his
Fair
career
play.
as a porn star.
Fair enough.
He was in that. I don't know if either of you remember that Amanda Bynes sitcom, What I Like About You, or whatever it's called. What I Hate About You, maybe.
Oh, I know what you're on about.
Where she like lives with her sister, and Simon Rex is like their neighbor or friend or something like that.
okay.
But he was in that.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, he's really great in this movie. It kind of just goes to show how the right director and right material can do wonders for someone.
he was very
Mhm.
interesting. Like, I actually found him to be probably the most interesting person in this film. I thought everyone else was just a little bit kind of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very fascinating character. He's kind of like this person. I feel like he constantly has like control over people. Like, there's something about him. He has like this charisma where he can basically make everyone do things for him.
It is
And that's
charisma.
kind of what I feel like a lot of the movie is about. It's about this guy who kind of easily manipulates people to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, and like brags about like the weirdest shit. Like when he's hanging out with that next door neighbor, what's his name, Lani or whatever, and he's all, "Oh yeah, I won 4 porn awards, free actresses in a
So
row.
proud of all his porn.
he's
moves.
very
Yeah.
like
I have 10
Up
followers
himself.
on Facebook."
like
Well, maybe that's why we don't get a lot from like the other characters, because it's very much a character study of this one
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah,
Because he's very self-centered and very up himself. Like, that's all we're gonna get.
yeah, like the porn awards he's won as well are like for best oral, and it's always like they were performed on him rather
And
than
not
him
by
actually doing
him.
anything. And like
They have
multiple
like 3
people
conversations
question-
about that.
Yeah, multiple people question like how he can take credit for that, and he's like trying to describe how he did the work and how it's not a coincidence, even though he shares it with like hundreds of other porn stars.
Yeah.
sure. Ugh.
What a thing to brag about.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it is within the nature, I suppose. Although one thing that kind of, I don't know, like if it took me by surprise or like it was just something that I didn't see coming, but that car pileup that was going on with what was that all about? I felt like I like fell asleep for like a
I
microsecond
feel like that
and I
was
didn't
kind of
understand what
just
was
to
going
show
on.
how selfish he is. Like
Mhm.
he kind of causes this really horrible crash, and all he can think about is, getting
Whether
to go
he's-
back to LA and spend time with Strawberry.
Yeah,
And
like,
he like rats out his neighbor, gets him to take the blame, and like tells him intentionally not to tell anyone that he
Like,
was
'cause
there.
I swear I honestly must have fell asleep for like a microsecond. Because all I saw was them go, "You don't know me, I don't know you," and I was like, "What happened? Like, what?"
Yeah, they don't show it.
Oh, okay. No, I got confused.
Because it's like a build-up. You're like, what just happened? And then like you show it on the news.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad I'm not the
So I
only
guess it's
one.
like an escalation.
Yeah.
There was a pretty good reveal. I was like, something fucking happened. Something terrible just happened. Because they're like so on edge and just like, oh.
Yeah, part of me
Oh,
thought they
God.
hit someone, and then all of a sudden you just see like 30
I thought
guards.
they killed a man.
Yeah, that's what
or
I
something.
thought.
But no, way worse. Way fucking worse.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was
I
going
wanted
to be
him
like
to like
drug
get
related.
like
I
some
wanted him to
sort
get
of
caught, man.
yeah comeuppance for that.
Or
but
at least get found out for being with a strawberry.
But I understand why they didn't, and like
Yeah.
how that aids the story. I quite like that
No one
his
learns.
neighbor kind of went down for it,
and then
even though he
just
had
takes
no
the blame anyway.
right to fucking ask him to keep his name out of it.
No. I mean, to be fair, though, I guess when you're driving, you ultimately take responsibility because you're driving.
Mhm.
But still, he
Yeah.
could have just been like, "Hey, I was there with ex-porn star Mikey Saver."
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it, take him down, man. And he's all like, "Oh, Strawberry, I love you, Strawberry. I'm going to tell you bad donut jokes."
Yeah, fucking hell. The donut jokes were bad. The
Oh, that
comedy.
scene where they're fighting in the car park.
A lot of the comedy did not hit for me. I'll be honest. Because it is quite. I mean, this guy is really immature. He's like really very immature, and I guess he's kind of got the mind of like a teenager. It's like porn awards. When I have sex with
Yeah.
this teenager, and it's like a teenage fantasy or some shit. And it's gross because he's like 50 or whatever. And I just. It was like obviously it was more to do with like the character piece, and it's like the mind of this gross little man.
Yeah, this guy
I
is
quite
like
liked.
obsessed with sex. He's almost like a sex addict, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah, it was quite the something.
Yeah.
And like when he's at all these job interviews and he's like, "Do you know who I am? Look me up.
Yeah.
I've won
Google
4
me."
porn awards."
You tell all his potential employees to Google him. Like that's not
Yeah.
going to get you anything.
And
Man.
there's that bit where like he goes to like visit Strawberry's like this guy that she's been seeing, and he's like gets out the car and he's like, "Hey, look me up."
Mhm. Yeah, I think one of the best parts was when he actually gets like some sort of payback. When like,
Well, when he gets punched in the face.
yeah, so he like shows that guy that he's a porn star and that he's with his girlfriend now, and then like the guy brings his parents to the donut shop, and then they just beat the shit out of him.
It was quite fun. That bit actually made me laugh. But there was like bits of dialogue in that like fight that were just like proper cringe, but it was really funny because he just got like beaten out.
They kind of, I guess they could have ended this very slightly simplistically, because like, and then I probably would have been fine with it, but like I wanted something to happen to him, and I wanted him to get some kind of like, I wanted him to go to jail, or I wanted him to get severely beaten up for what he's done.
I wanted his wife to
I just
find
wanted
out.
something bad to happen to him.
Yeah,
or
like
I wanted him to be found out. But
yeah,
he never
that's what I
does.
was waiting for.
But weirdly, I was not dissatisfied with the ending that we got,
Yeah.
even though I had no idea what happened.
Yeah, that's what I was
love
just about
the
to say. I
ending.
don't quite understand what happened.
I think at that point he kind of just realizes he's not in control of anything anymore. He's kind of like almost being controlled by this girl. Like he like runs to her. He like all he wants is to be with her almost. I think that's where he realizes that he's not in control of anything like he was before. Everyone's kind of turned against him. I think that's kind of what they're going for. Like he realizes that he's not getting everything he wants. Like kind of reality hits him in a way.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a great final shot where he's like staring at Strawberry's house and bye starts playing in reverse as the film ends. I thought that
Yeah, I
was
was
really
confused
brilliant.
for a couple of seconds, then I
He's
like
dancing in a
clocked onto
bikini. I
it.
was like, what the fuck is happening? What is happening? I knew it wasn't going to end well for him once he like got to her house, and I was like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, either her mum's going to answer the door and like nothing's going to happen for you, and you're just going to be told to leave. Like, what? You have no money. Like, what's going to happen here?
Oh yeah, I
And
mean,
obviously they kind of subvert it, and it's like, oh, something happens, but I don't know what.
Yeah, I kind of prefer that.
Mhm.
I like them leaving it very ambiguous than them answering that.
Yeah.
yeah, for once I actually did want it answered.
Makes you want a donut.
Yeah, a donut hole.
Yeah. Give me all your donut holes.
How come we don't have donut holes?
Sad lack of donut holes in the UK. That's what we're missing.
Distribution hits food as well.
I really like the look of the film. It's very grainy. It was like all shot. I think it was shot on 16mm film, so it looks incredibly rough.
It was
and
nice.
Low budget. It looks kind of blurry almost.
It kind of suits it though when you think about the
it
content.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seedy.
Yeah, that's it. Like proper grotty
Yeah.
almost. I like that though. If it was shot in like HD, it wouldn't have felt the same.
Yeah. Sean Baker, like, he regularly records on film. I think Tangerine's like the only time he's not recorded on
Yeah, but
film.
isn't he like a film purist or something?
Yeah, he is. He used to criticize film directors for shooting digitally.
Doesn't everyone shoot digitally now though?
Yeah.
Basically.
So was he like never watch a film in his life?
I mean, it works for the movie.
Yeah,
it
does.
It does.
It works for that kind of grotty, kind of seedy vibe they're going for. You never feel like clean.
No,
It's like
you always.
all gross and
I wanted
disgusting.
the shower.
Like you're down in the ditch with this guy. It's like you've lost your job as a porn star, and now you have to go back to your wife in Texas.
You're actually with him
Yeah,
in this whole thing.
it was interesting that I was never like, I never like, I kind of empathize with him, you know, and because he was like the main character, it was like, yeah, you feel like where he's coming from or like why he's doing what he's doing. Even though like it would have been absolutely fine if he'd have, like, I don't know, been shot or something.
Yeah, like could have been hit by a bus, and I would have been just as
I was like,
satisfied.
oh, thank God.
I think that's another thing he does, Sean Baker does well. He does that incredibly well in his film The Florida Project, which I really, really love also. He just kind of is great at writing these very flawed, kind of unlikable characters and then kind of making you empathize with them or at least understand them.
Yeah. It was a good character. He's just like, he's got like, because he is like basically a teenager. He's got like a teenager's job. He's like selling weed and like working at this donut shop. He's not even working at the donut shop. He's just hanging out at the donut shop.
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
just
really get it.
selling weed there.
Yeah, I
he's
thought
just
he was
shot weed
working
markers.
there in that first shot, and then he's just like, "Oh,
I
thanks
was just
for
hanging out with
Yeah.
this kid.
like as if your boss would actually allow for you to just have some random guy behind the
Mhm.
like where all the money
Selling weed
is
to
and
the
like
nearby
yeah,
builders.
it's fucking
Not really.
whatever.
Yeah.
What you're gonna do?
I really liked the supporting cast. I thought they were all really, really good.
Mhm.
I loved the person who plays his wife. I think she's really great, and I
great.
found that character was like one I felt really bad for throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of. I mean, she was kind of.
she was horrific.
It's
I mean,
kinda
yeah,
horrific.
she wasn't.
But
She's
then,
another character. I don't think she's a great person, but
None of these people are.
I was
to be
just
honest.
about to say that. I don't like a single one of them, but I also like all of them in different ways. It's
Mhm.
very confusing.
I like the mum, like his
Oh, his-
wife's mum.
yeah,
What's
his
that, his-
mother-in-law.
She's quite funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Rocket.
Red
Rocket.
rocket
Yeah.
salad.
I think I'd have more to say about it if I had like notes
Yeah.
and like were able to like jot it down.
To
while
be honest, I
watching
think
it,
we've said everything that there
Yeah,
pretty much is to
I'm-
say though.
I'm glad we saw it.
Yeah, it was an experience.
I had a go at Chris because he didn't tell me that it was directed by Sean Baker before we went
Yeah,
in.
but then you went to come.
But I wanted to come. Yeah. But I'd only seen Tangerine, so I got to watch more of this guy's movies. I heard The Florida Project is very good.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
but
great.
would
Maybe
like
it was
to
just
watch that.
Tangerine. Maybe that one just sucks.
Yeah, I've seen just those 3 films, and Tangerine's easily my least favorite.
This is the only one I've seen, so
Which is weird. I don't know. Tangerine is like revered. But I think that's because it was shot on an iPhone.
Yeah,
oh, what?
That's why
Because
people
it's
love
like, oh, you shot a whole film
shot
on an
on
iPhone.
This is great.
That doesn't make it good.
No.
yeah, it's kind of something I respect it more than I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of respect what he's going for.
Yeah, there's a
and
lot
how
of
it was
effort probably
made,
put into that.
but
What was it like? Well, no, it could have been edited on.
no, I don't think it was
No.
edited on an iPhone. I
That
think it was just
that
shot.
would be incredible, right? That would be the peak of filmmaking there. Then everyone would become just a filmmaker, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it now. You watch.
Okay.
Can't even sit for a film, yet alone make a film.
We're going to rate this one out of strawberries.
Okay.
Yeah, I really loved this movie. This is probably my favorite Sean Baker movie. Although, like I said, I do love Florida Project as well. I think I would definitely watch it again when it's out on Blu-ray, because I did have a really great time watching it. I give it 9 strawberries out of 10.
Mm-hmm. I actually don't want to watch this again because it made me feel gross and disgusting. And it's
Yeah,
very
that's
long.
fair.
And I think I got a lot out of it on the first watch. I don't know. But I would recommend it.
Yeah.
If you like movies about paedophiles. 7 strawberries out of 10.
Now that I thought about it, I would consider watching it again. But I don't know if I need to. I feel like, yeah, you've seen it once, you don't really need to watch it again. If that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Never
Maybe.
know. It could be a completely different experience the second time around.
It could be.
I know. I have a feeling that I'm probably going to end up watching it at some point anyway, because Chris is probably going to buy it or something anyway.
Yeah.
In any fact, 8 strawberries out of 10.
Second watch, you get more out of the capitalist angle it's going for with the industrial.
All our heroes
Complexes and all that.
NSYNC.
Yeah, more out of the NSYNC.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, just before we finish, I really liked when Strawberry sang Bye Bye Bye.
Yeah.
That was very nice.
I liked the scene where he was running naked to Bye Bye Bye, and there was a close up of his willy.
Yeah, there was a lot
the
of
dick shot.
willies.
Yeah.
It was literally
That
a
was fun. That
teenager's
was
wet
very
dream.
funny. I
Yeah,
like that
that's
a lot.
really funny.
Anyway, another Red movie.
Well, if you go on to the second Red movie, who wants to introduce it?
Go on, Chris.
Sure thing.
We saw a Disney
Pixar
Plus movie. Oh, was it a Pixar movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
The new Pixar movie. Once again, Disney have proved they do not give a shit about Pixar at all, and they've just shat their new movie onto Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Their new film Turning Red, directed by Domishi. It's about a 13-year-old called May. I think it's set in like 2002 or something. Set in the early
Mhm.
2000s. She's a awkward teenager, kind of in this like place where she's kind of starting to discover herself and kind of discover boys and that kind of thing. And she discovers one day that when she gets too excited, she just randomly transforms into a giant red panda.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. When I first heard that this movie was going to become a thing, I was like, "Holy fuck, that's going to be terrible."
Yeah.
I think we all were.
Yeah,
because they released like that scene where she first turned into a panda as like the teaser trailer. I remember watching that and being like, Jesus, this is going to be so bad.
Yeah, like it felt to me as if it was going to be like a shameless like Totoro kind of ripoff where they didn't have the rights to make a troll thing, so they used the red panda instead.
Yeah.
I think that although, okay, so it's like this animated film, and I think Pixar have kind of perfected animation now to a point where they don't feel like they need to try anymore.
They don't add anything new anymore, do they? They've kind of gone, this is it, this is the
kind of annoyed me when I was watching this movie, because it's like, all right, this is like a bit of the same animation that they did with Luca, which is very nice for a while. And here it's just like, it's just the same thing. Yeah, basically.
I'll be honest. I think they do rely too heavily on the fact that they're good at it.
From like other movies, I guess. That they've done,
like the fur that they did in like Toy Story 4 with the cat.
What
yeah.
Cat? Oh yeah, right. I mean,
like more HD Sully from Monsters Inc.
Wow. I mean,
and it looked really good.
Yeah,
but it also was like, yeah.
No, it looks amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's just I think they have started to rely heavily on the fact that the animation and I mean, I think they've gotten to a point.
We're Pixar and we can do it the best, and we're the best.
Yeah, and I think they've really genuinely gotten to a point, not just now, but within the last 5 or 6 years or so, where they've gone, we can put out a fish singing the alphabet and we're gonna get Oscar nominated. So why do it doesn't matter?
Plateaued a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's why I like Soul, because it was quite different.
Loved Soul.
It was very different for them, and they actually used like different animation stuff.
They were taking risks. They were being much more creative. They were making a story that's much more emotionally
complex.
Yeah, I sobbed like a little baby to that film. And it's one of those where I thought
that was more existential as well.
Yeah, I actually thought for a hot second I was like, maybe they're maybe they're reviving. Maybe it's coming back. We're gonna get some good films.
No. This is something like I couldn't say that about like this movie. It's like it definitely doesn't take risks. Turning Red.
No,
it's not very risky. I thought like at the end of it, I was like, that was like Encanto. It's like the same plot. It's better than Encanto, but it's like it's like an outcast. Like Disney love their fucking movies about outcast. Like
I thought almost every Disney film is about an outcast.
Don't you love a good outcast story? It's like okay, do something different with it though, because this is like the kid who craves affection and wants to be like seen as great in their parents' eyes. I was like, okay, I think everybody else has like seen any of that before. Like it's the same thing.
Hold on, so we got Mulan. You can literally just go on and on and on.
Yeah, when the film started, for I think the first 20-30 minutes, I was like really intrigued by what they were doing, because I was like, seems like this may be like a metaphor for like puberty and like
it definitely felt like that.
But like as the film goes on, it becomes less and less about that and just more about a girl who turns into a panda. And at that point I was just kind of like, yeah, it's cute, but it's not really that deep. There's not really much to it. It's like a fine kids movie, but I really do wish they went much more into like the deeper, like metaphorical stuff that they kind of seem to be hinting at the beginning.
Yeah,
it's kind of, it's hard to explain because I thought it was a good enough movie. Like it was all right. Like as far as Pixar of the 2020s go, it's fine. It's whatever. But it just kind of, I felt like I could have watched. Like genuinely could have just watched a Studio Ghibli movie and had a way better time.
This is Pixar trying to do a Ghibli movie, I think.
And the thing is, I'm not even mad about it because obviously, Ghibli don't have the rights to everything that's, of that kind of like movie. Do you know what I mean?
Japanese kind of anime inspired a lot of it.
Kawaii kind of stuff. But it's kind of, I just felt like they almost try too hard to not try at all, and I find it really complicated to try and explain what I mean by that, because people are going to be like, oh, you're just hating on it because it's Disney, and I'm not. I'm genuinely saying that it was a good film, but it just, I could have watched Spirited Away and had a way better time.
Yeah. The stuff I enjoyed the most out of the animation, out of the visuals, is when they really heavily lean into that anime influence.
Mhm.
Like there's some points where like people like have sudden expressions and like their eyes are wide and like sparks come out their face and like that stuff is like super anime.
Yeah, I love all the stuff in like the temple
that
and stuff as well, where like everything's like proper, almost like smoky and like everything's really detailed. And
there
it
was
just
a part
looks
that
nice.
like the movie peaked for me, and it was like nearly at the beginning, but it was like it cuts to a shot of like the dad making dinner, and it looks fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like slow motion, like flipping like stuff on the grill and like chopping up a chili. I was like, this is beautiful. It looks amazing. And then it just like went back to how it was before.
But then isn't that just another case of, if you're watching it, it looks amazing, but then when you get back down to it, you're like, oh yeah, this is just a Pixar movie.
that sequence was kind of like a flex.
Yeah,
the thing was like, look at how
but
great our animation is, and it is, you know.
the thing is that it is, like, don't get me wrong, they probably do have the best animation going, but a good film
I
does
don't know
not
best,
always make.
I just think they've gotten very good at their own brand of 3D animation.
Oh, I think it. I don't know. I think it is. Well,
in terms of best, I guess that's more subjective. I prefer to look at like a Studio Ghibli movie. I prefer to look at something like.
Well, I feel like there's more effort put into
like
a Studio
Miyazaki,
Ghibli.
you know?
Do you know what I mean? I think it's more because, not because obviously there's a lot more effort you have to put into, like, I don't know, the equipment and actually making 3D animation. But when you actually think about, like, painstakingly making everything move hand drawn, I would take that any day. But let's be honest, Pixar movie does look pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I just worry that it's going to be like this forever.
Yeah, it probably won't get any better, but I think it's because they're at the point where they're too cocky now. They just don't need to be any better, so they're just like
the animation in like Toy Story 4 is very fucking good, but it is almost like they're trying as hard as they can to make it look as photorealistic as possible.
They don't need to do that though, do they? Really? If I wanted photorealistic, I would watch camera, like actual footage of something happening.
I don't necessarily have a problem with their animation looking incredible and not improving if the character designs are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what was good about Solo, wasn't it?
My biggest problem with this and Luca and Onward and like a lot of their recent movies, the character designs are just very plain, very average.
They're very template looking. Like the people in Encanto kind of look like the animation that they're going for in this film as well. Like they have like the big eyes and they have like the small heads.
Yeah, it's just kind of what you expect from Disney.
Yeah.
It's like tweak a little bit of it and you could put these people in the same movie and it wouldn't look out of place.
But then, is that... Right, hit me out here. Is that a stylistic choice that they've gone for, so everyone then goes, that's a Pixar movie? Do you know what I mean? Like a signature template. But they don't need to do it because they're Pixar.
No, it's just a generic 3D animation look, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm just looking at it from a signature point.
Yeah,
because obviously, you have designers have their own like artistic look that they kind of everything.
Couldn't you say that about a Ghibli movie?
You can, and they do. They do look roughly the same. Let's be honest, most of their characters look the same. If I'm going to be honest,
I don't know that I would say
their
characters look the same.
The human people look the same a lot of the time. So I'm going to be fair. If I'm gonna rag on Pixar, I'm going to rag on Studio Ghibli for doing the same shit.
I'd say the characters still have their own distinct look, whereas I don't really.
I think they have more personality. I'll give you that for sure.
They have a lot of personality in how they're designed and how they look and like their body shape and like their face shape. Because
Pixar have gotten to the stage where they're just I think they're just kind of recycling.
Yeah,
things.
Which it's a shame considering that. Soul came out 2 years ago, and a lot of the characters in that are human, but they all have their own distinct look.
Yeah, they don't look very human, and I like that.
I wouldn't even say they don't look human.
Don't they? They've got like the elongated features and shit. It looks weird.
They look very exaggerated, but it's much more interesting.
Oh yeah,
it's much more memorable.
Soul, I know what Soul looked like, but if I saw say I hadn't seen this film, right? And you'd stuck, because I haven't seen Encanto either. So you stick those two next to each other. You could have told me they're in the same film, and I would have gone, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know any better.
Yeah. I maybe have a problem with like Pixar films looking basically the same as Disney movies. I know they're like owned by Disney, but I feel like they should have a different kind of style going for them. Like, I don't know. It's like a symptom of like Disney trying to absorb everything.
Yeah,
and make
what
it
Disney film are we
everything
talking
that is
about?
their own brand.
Just basically everything they've done since making 3D movies.
Because
I
can't.
honestly couldn't tell you anything apart from Encanto because that was like the most recent one.
Yeah,
I think
like,
everything else they
right.
made.
Oh,
is
that was an
fucking dog
actual
shit.
Disney
Like,
movie.
I don't even care.
Right, I
Oh,
thought that was
Raya.
another Pixar movie.
No,
right, I'm
yeah,
getting
yeah,
so
Disney.
confused.
Yeah, that looks the same.
Yeah,
Right,
like
I've got
Raya
you.
and the Last Dragons also looks pretty much the
Yeah.
same. Like,
I mean,
That one did look
the
different, to
animation
be
in
fair.
Raya and the Last Dragon is pretty good,
At least it was
It's very good.
different-ish. Like, it didn't quite...
but it does look the same.
It was just... I don't even know anymore. Why even have two production studios if they're going to be exactly the same?
So they can cancel Pixar at one point and be like, "Oh, it was the same though." Like when and just nothing's different, right?
Well, and if they're going to cancel Pixar, just fucking do it. Like...
But I agree. Like the best parts of Turning Red are the parts where they try to distinguish the movie in a different kind of style. Like you were saying, like
Adding their own
when,
flair
like,
to it, I
the
suppose.
boy band are on stage and like all the characters are like together and they start crying and like their eyes are
Yeah.
huge and all the
Oh, yeah,
tears are
like,
going
the
everywhere.
tears
That's
are
really
massive,
fun. I guess the red panda itself is very well animated, but it is basically just a high definition Monsters Inc.
All right, I'm not going to lie, though. I
it
love
just
that red
looks like
panda.
a red panda.
Yeah, the red panda in it.
I love red
very
pandas.
interesting.
There is nothing to hate, though. It's cute.
Yeah, I agree with like the former part of the movie where they were kind of hinting at deeper themes that run through it. I think they were kind of more going for like you say, puberty, but more specifically like girls who go through puberty.
Yeah, but Chris did go on like a 20-minute tirade about this when we were
Yeah.
watching it. He was like, "Do you think this is about periods?" And I was like,
I
probably.
thought it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was also thinking at one point, oh, maybe this is like about like teenage mental health, and then
Yeah.
that went nowhere either. That was just a random thought.
The period thing made sense to me.
Yeah.
But then
Well, they
obviously she
literally
was
thought she
changing
was
like every
having her
2
period,
seconds.
like, yeah.
Yeah, Chris
She
was
was
like, "Oh,
Yeah, turning red.
turning red."
So-
Exactly.
it would
Yeah.
have been incredibly unsubtle, but
Yeah.
I think if they delved into it a bit more, it would have been a lot more interesting. And I
I
think it would
actually
have.
think it's got potential. Like they could have
does,
tapped
yeah,
into
it
it.
does.
You
And I
could tap into like the ways that like women have to grow up sooner, and like that we live in a world that like
Where periods are
What-
gross. Yeah.
well that, and also that like getting your period is like you know you always say like when a girl gets a period for the first time it's like you're a woman now.
That's
When they're
literally
still
what her
like
mum
a child
says.
or a teenager,
yeah.
and I think they probably could have gone more in thematically in with that and like what it means to grow up in that way.
Yeah, I think that would have given it a lot more like staying power and would have made it actually kind of feel necessary, whereas
I
this
felt
just
like
kind
it-
of just feels like a time waster for kids.
There was also like a part where
Mm.
like the whole point of like the red panda that they turned into red pandas was like it was a way to protect the ancient village while the men were away at war, but now they don't need it because we've progressed as a society and like we don't need to protect, like we're kind of like on a more level playing field, and like the men don't have to go off to war while the women stay at home and cook, you know,
Okay.
and look after the kids. So I think probably they could have gone in a bit more with like how that's changed. Like,
Okay.
you know, I don't know.
See, but because then wouldn't it be a bit like I don't say natural selection, but like would it if you had to stop doing that for years and years because men don't necessarily have to go to war anymore? Wouldn't it been like rotten out of the DNA because they don't need it anymore? You know what I mean? Like how people used to eat grass, but they don't eat grass anymore because they don't need to.
Well, you could also say that about, you know, gendered stereotypes.
I guess so. Yeah. Okay. We could. If we want to go there, we can go there.
But I guess they didn't want to go there. So.
No,
So
but we
that's not
can
what we
now.
got.
No, I've opened it. Pandora's box.
Who's here trying to tell Pixar to do a better job? I mean,
But then they're very backwards about these kind of things anyway. But like they're the kind of people that would be like, we can't have two gay leads in our Luca film. We must pretend that they are fishmen because if they're gay fish, it won't matter.
yeah.
Like Disney are
It's a
not
bit of a
progressive
sketchy
in any
area.
way.
I don't. No, I'm not gonna. I was gonna go into the the Don't Say Gay bill or whatever they tried to pass or whatever. But I don't really
The
know all
what?
that much about it. I haven't really looked it up. There was like something that we're trying to pass.
didn't you say this was set in the 2000s? Maybe it's meant to be a bit more political. No, I don't know.
It's not trying to be political.
Well, no, but I mean, if you're going to put that in your film, surely there's going to be some. I don't know. Now we're really going off the cuff here. We're all like fucking.
Yeah. Don't say what I. Don't take anything that I've said about that to be like gospel. I really don't know much about it or at all.
No, we were too young in the 2000s. Okay.
That it's come out now. But yeah, I really don't have all that much to say about this movie. I thought it was pretty good, but I'm not going to watch it again. Not at least not sooner than I would watch something like Soul again, because that was actually something very entertaining and interesting, and try to tackle deeper themes. Like when a movie goes for deeper themes, that's something that can bring you back to it, and you get more out of it. But with this, I guess it's not. It's either not trying to, or like it fails at it.
Either that, or maybe it's just maybe it's not that relatable.
I don't know. She had a Tamagotchi that was pretty relatable.
Actually, yeah, I love that Tamagotchi. It made me actually want to go out and buy another Tamagotchi. I actually know someone I went to school with who had bought a Tamagotchi like the other day, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my god, we could bring it back. We could bring back the 2000s.
We could do it all again."
I remember a few years ago, my ex got one, and she played for it for a day, and it started to annoy her, so she threw it away.
I think it's 'cause it makes all the like the beeping noises and stuff as well.
I'm
just
not ready to be a parent, actually.
To an annoying beeping thing.
It's a fun thing for a day, but no thanks. I once, like, when I was at school, when they were like the height of popularity, I had my Tamagotchi, and then I like got on the school bus, but I realised I'd left it in the car.
Oh
So
no.
I made the bus driver not leave. I was like, wait just a fucking minute. And then I ran back to the car to get my Tamagotchi. I held them all up. Oh,
Tamagotchi
God.
is life.
That's a core memory for me. When at Pixar, yeah, core memory.
Yeah, I think Pixar definitely have way better movies than this. But to say that though, I can't completely rag on it. It's alright.
Well.
Yeah, no, this film was fine. It was okay.
Like
it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually liked it, but I just wouldn't watch it again.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Not in a long time anyway.
I wouldn't watch it again, but I preferred it to like Luca and
but basically this is the best I've seen in the last couple of Pixar films.
Not as good as Soul.
Couple of Pixar films like this and
Luca and Soul.
Yeah.
All right. When I'm saying couple, I probably mean like.
I did like a marathon of the Pixar movies like last year, and it did get to a point where I was like, "Fucking hell, I'm kind of bored now." Well, they had a really big dip somewhere. And like Soul
I don't
kind
know.
of brought it back.
Inside Out was great.
That was good.
I don't know. I
I love
really like
that
that
film.
movie.
It makes me cry. That stupid like.
That movie
Bing
makes everyone
bong
cry.
Yeah, I think pretty much everything they put out in the 2000s is good, but then 2010s onwards, it's been pretty rough. I've only really loved like Coco and Soul.
I haven't seen Coco, but Soul was amazing. That actually made me think that they were going to turn it around, and then they just did.
Yeah, that's how I felt when Coco came out.
Yeah. Guess not.
No.
Ah, well, we can't win them all, boys.
Yeah, I'd prefer them to just take a break through between films. Maybe make a film every 3-4 years or something.
They won't do that,
they
though.
won't do that.
What's the next one? They got that Buzz Lightyear one coming out.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, is that? I
With,
thought
like,
that was
Captain
a TV
America
show.
playing Buzz Lightyear.
No,
Am I
it's
thinking?
film.
Am I thinking of a TV show?
There
that
was
they're
a
making?
TV show of
The
it
Buzz
years
TV
ago.
show, right? No, they're making one, right?
There's a
no,
film.
that's a film.
Yeah.
That's not a TV show.
No, it's a film.
All right. I'm thinking of a film that I thought was a TV show.
Which could be okay. Apparently
is that
they're
coming
going
out this year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lightyear.
It could
Do
be
they ever
okay,
stop? Do they
but-
do they let their staff like breathe?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I mean, we're in 2022 now. We've already got 4 Pixar films since 2020, I think. This decade, I'm pretty sure we've had 4. We've had Onward, Soul, Luca, and this.
They need to calm down. Like they
And
actually
by the
need
end
to.
of the year, we'll have 5.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
fuck! I'm so sorry. I keep thinking it's a TV show. I
Yeah.
keep doing this to myself. I'm so sorry. I mean, I'll still watch that. To be honest.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
supposedly that one's going to be theatrical, but Who
Of course
knows?
it is, because you got to get the
It's
Toy
isn't
Story
it?
nostalgics in there. I think it's a clever move, actually. I hate it, but it's true.
Yeah, I kind of hate that they peaked with Toy Story 2 in 1999, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, they did.
No, they made really good movies. After that,
Oh, I
couldn't
like
name you
all
one
of them.
but yeah.
Anyway,
No,
should we rate
yeah,
this?
we'll go on to
It's
ratings.
8:30.
Yeah, we've been going for an hour.
Bloody hell. All right. Well,
What are we
Okay.
going to rate this out of?
Pandas.
yeah, fine.
Red pandas.
Whatever. Yeah, it's a good movie, I guess. It was cute. I was really bored, I'd say. It was fine. I'm glad I watched it. Wouldn't watch it again, but it is what it is. I give it 6 pandas out of 10.
Yeah, I had a fun time. I laughed a bit, but I wouldn't watch it again. 6 pandas out of 10.
I really like red pandas. 7 pandas out of 10.
Hoo-hoo-hoo. Cool. Thanks, Pixar. Maybe on the next go round, eh? So,
Just realised I have to explain the plot of my movie.
yeah, so now we've got to explain the plots of some movies. We watched video game movies, and everyone knows the video game movies are awesome. So we picked 3 video game movies to watch, and we watched them all in one day. And what did we watch? We watched Postal, we watched Rampage, we watched
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. And Chris picked the first one.
Max is just staring into the sky like he's not here anymore.
Yeah, I picked Postal, directed by Uwe Boll,
Jesus.
based off the Postal games. Mostly it's based off Postal 2, which is the one that everyone who's into that series has played and considers the best. It's about a guy who doesn't have a name. He's just called Postal Dude.
I thought he was called Guy or something.
Called like Dude. Yeah.
Yeah, like dude guy. Yes.
In the games, he doesn't have a name. He's just called Postal Dude. So, yeah, he's like a regular Joe trying to get employed, and somehow gets wrapped into this violent rampage with his uncle, who is a cult leader. At the same time, they like going through this heist, and they find out the Taliban are also trying to pull a heist there. So they not only have to fight against like political powers that be, they also have to fight against Osama bin Laden and the Taliban.
Who made the game series? Like, what was this?
The games are basically nothing like the movie.
That was what I was trying to figure out. I was like, what?
How does this equate?
Translate to a game?
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
understand it either.
So I've only played Postal 2 and I really loved the game. It is a very loose game. There's not really much of a plot to it at all. It is quite subversive and it is quite overtly offensive
Yeah, are the
intentionally.
Taliban in this game?
Yeah, they are in the game. But
Okay.
It's done in a much sillier sort of way. It feels a lot more fitting with what they're going for in the game, because the game is so ridiculous and surreal at times, and it kind of seems to have some sort of purpose. Most of that game is literally just mindless violence and just shocking shit. You get to like just go around, shoot random strangers. You can piss on people. There's like a piss button, and if you
Piss button!
if you step on a cat, you pick them up and start using them as a gun.
Yeah, that happened in this.
which happens in this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was intrigued as to how they would translate that into a movie, and they didn't really.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't really remember anything that happened in this movie at all, apart from the Taliban and this guy fucking this man's overweight wife. Did anyone else pick up on what happened? Because I did
The
not.
film starts off with 9/11.
Did it have
it does as well, yeah.
Did it have like a? It felt like it didn't really have a plot either. Like one
It
thing
doesn't.
happened and then everything.
It's just a collection of scenes that
Hmm.
loosely come together, I guess.
Yeah, you got those guys in the plane, like literally at the beginning, they're talking about how many virgins they're going to get in the afterlife.
Yeah, they're like arguing and saying, "Oh, Bin Laden's lied to us. He told me we'll get this number of virgins," and
Mhm.
And then people try to overpower them on the plane, and they end up crashing into the World Trade Center.
Yeah, which I almost missed because I was like, what does it fucking matter?
It's very tasteless, isn't it?
Yeah, it was an incredibly controversial scene when the film came out.
Well,
that was like
not
one
surprised.
that loads of people were talking about.
A lot of this movie is very tasteless, though.
Yeah, no, I agree. But that scene in particular just kind of, I don't know, shot out a little bit in terms of tastelessness. Well, apart from the
I
fact
thought
that
all the Nazi stuff was pretty.
Oh yeah, I mean,
weird.
yeah, this whole film's a bit like, how could that geezer be in his own movie and sit there and go, "This was a good movie. You guys don't know cinema."
Yeah.
What?
This film is like Uwe Boll was like, let's just try and offend as many people as possible, and let's try and be as shocking and horrible as possible without understanding that it only really works if you either have something to say or do it in a way that's actually funny.
And this is why South Park works, and this film did
on
not.
The poster, it's like it says live action South Park.
It's not.
And that's something where it is at times quite shocking. It does tackle very sensitive subjects, but when it does it in a way that kind of it works because they actually have something funny to say.
Yeah,
Whereas
this guy
this doesn't have anything to say. It's just kind of, it seems to think it's a satire, but doesn't actually know what it's satirizing.
Yeah, it's like the worst kind of shock humor.
Where it's just like crude and racist for no reason.
Yeah. And
they're like all dressed up as Nazis, go to like Little Germany, this like little festival they've got going on. I don't know why they dressed up as Nazis, because nobody saw them or like even commented on the fact that they were like Nazis.
Yeah,
and then like
did.
Uwe Boll was at the fucking Little Germany thing. He's talking about like how he's a Nazi or some shit.
Yeah, like, are we meant to laugh at that? Like, is he German?
This isn't
Are we meant
funny.
to laugh at that?
Yeah, and there's like that bit where he says he's a Nazi and someone like gets offended and it's like, oh, my granddad was in Auschwitz. Like, he died in Auschwitz. And Uwe Boll goes, yeah, my granddad also died at Auschwitz. He fell out of a watchtower.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what? I don't think. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as bad as these films were, it was so dry when we were watching this film. Like, I didn't feel like we laughed at a single fucking thing that happened.
He also calls himself a paedophile in that same scene.
Great. Yeah.
And then has a fight with the creator of the game who's like, how dare you fuck up my game? And he's like, come on, man, you know it's great. Or something like that.
He read rocket dust.
Yeah. I just think, like, tell a story first, you know? Apart from, like, don't just try to be shocking for the sake of being shocking, because, like who cares about that? It's a movie.
Yeah.
You want a story to follow in a movie.
Yeah, but...
And, like, you know, it can be a shit story, but at least tell one.
I felt like not only did it not have a story, but is he just what? Because I've never seen any of his other films, right? And I'm pretty sure he only makes game films, right? Like films based on games, is that right? Or is that not right?
But that was what he was most popular for.
Okay, right. So he obviously had a quote unquote knack, not really, but what he thought was a knack for making like game movies, right?
Yeah, all of which were huge,
all terrible,
commercial and critical failures.
Right. So so is he just doing it because he's like, no one else has done Postal, I'm going to make a film that everyone's going to talk about and I'm going to get nominated for this and this? Surely it got a Razzie or something.
Probably.
Oh, it did.
I would love to know if it got a Razzie. If anyone, do you know
so
what I'm
it got
going to look
nominated for 3 Golden Raspberry Awards.
Oh, a Razzie. Okay, what? Did he win anything?
Worst supporting actor for Uwe Boll as himself. It got nominated for Worst Supporting Actor for Troyer as himself, and also Worst Director, and it won Worst Director.
I love that. And I bet that's part of what made him cry.
It did win 2 awards at the Hoboken International Film Festival, though, for Best Director and the festival's top prize, which was Best of Festiva. I don't know what that is.
Were there only shit films?
Imagine it was like his festival.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
But yeah, I don't know. I just I found it to be just really boring, you know. And
it was
like the
very
worst
boring.
sin a movie can commit.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, you could be bad, but at least make me laugh with how bad it is.
Yeah.
But this didn't.
Yeah,
it
like
was just because it was trying to be funny.
yeah, you need
They
to
just
give me the
never hit.
room. You can't give me this.
Yeah, I realised really quickly I should have picked one of his other ones because I've seen, I think, Alone in the Dark and House of the Dead, and they both are really funny
Mhm.
because of how bad they are. But because this is trying to be a comedy, it just becomes really painful to sit through.
Well, jokes on
'Cause,
us,
like
really.
in those films, like you can tell it's trying to be serious, so it's like funny when it's really silly or bad. But like in this, it feels like everything's a joke.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to mention we did speed this up at like the halfway point. So like we started watching it at 1.5 times speed. We were watching it on YouTube.
Because you
and
can't
maybe, like,
find it
slightly
anywhere
more
else.
bearable, but only because it ended sooner.
Yeah, it didn't really change anything at all.
No, it didn't even feel
It
really
was just as
bearable.
boring, but
Yeah.
faster.
That's what I
It
mean.
wasn't like when we sped up the Beverly Hills Cop movies
Yeah,
and made it a little bit funnier.
Yeah, like it didn't even have any cool music to speed up and make it funky.
No. All the music fucking sucked.
I don't remember
It was like
it,
watching
sorry.
a Lifetime movie. It was just like, oh, it was gross, man.
Oh,
didn't
some of the
like it.
music sounded like a really funky porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like porn.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
like porn music.
That's
Or
all I
like-
remember. I never pick up on soundtracks in films, and you guys know this very well.
Yeah. Every
But
time
that
they
was
like
porny.
change a scene, it'll do like a slide transition,
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
that was-
swipe sound.
Yeah,
It'll
d-
actually like make the sound as the scene transitions.
yeah, they
You
must
don't
have,
need to do that.
you must have edited it on like Movie Player or something. It looks like.
Yeah, edited on Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And J.K. Simmons is in this as well.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And I mean, he dies. They like throw some tomato juice at a window, and then he dies, I guess. To like simulate blood. Like, oh man, he got exploded. Throw some tomato juice at the window. Ha.
All of his lines were ad-libbed. He came up with all of it. There's like a bit where he's like saying, why should we feel bad for the 9/11 victims because they were all like rich socialites and business people.
Yeah.
What? J.K. Simmons came up with
I
that?
thought, like,
That is criminal.
interesting you'd say that, but those aren't the only people who died in 9/11.
No, only rich business people.
It like only devastated like those two buildings, and like that's it.
It's yeah, what the fuck? What? Oh god, what a horrible movie this was.
Apparently, his Vern Troyer, Dave Foley, and Larry Thomas's agents were all like trying to get him not to be in the movie, but they all wanted to be in it for some reason.
What?
It's like career suicide.
That's
isn't
according
it?
to Uwe Boll, so
Oh
I don't
my
know if I can completely believe that. But apparently, they went against the wishes of their agents to be in the movie.
I think he's a bit doolally, that man. To be honest.
Yeah. He also tried to fund a sequel through Kickstarter.
Mhm.
What for Postal?
Yeah,
For God's sake.
which obviously didn't go well.
Yeah, interesting sense of humor with it. I don't know. It was like that part where like I guess it was trying to like be pretty funny and like edgy, but like
That's like the whole film.
yeah, but
Mm.
there was like one part where like that black police officer just like gets out of the police car, like goes up to this Asian woman who's in the car, and then like he shoots her with a shotgun like 5 times. And it's like, I guess it was trying to be like, haha, look, the black police officer is shooting the Asian woman. That's what's funny about it.
And then he gets in the car and he's like, she called me the N-word.
Yeah,
And that was like the joke.
and like none of us laughed. The funniest part about that was like the scene ended, and like we were just like sat in complete silence. Nobody even commented on it. Just like,
Yeah.
okay.
That was like the most of the film though. I don't
Yeah.
think there was a single laugh.
That's what I mean.
No.
This was the driest film out of the three, I think. Like, I just died. This was death for me. But I think it's one of those films that, because it was like shocking for shock's sake, it wasn't even funny. Like, you know, sometimes you hear a joke and it's really offensive, but you laugh because you're like, oh, goddamn. But this was just like, I can't laugh at that. That's not
Yeah.
even funny. Like, it's just ridiculous.
For me, a lot of this film just seemed to be like Uwe Boll venting about like people and situations that he doesn't like. Like there's that scene where there's a guy, for some reason, it's in a coffee shop, where there's this guy who's taking ages to order something, and then the waitress behind the thing like just randomly starts shouting at him saying, you're going to have this, or you're not going to waste everyone's time.
Mm.
That seems to literally just be him venting that he
Okay,
doesn't like
actually-
when people take too much time.
To be honest, that was quite relatable though. In the only
Yeah,
part of
but,
the film
like,
that was relatable, it
Can't
was
just
that.
like put that in a movie. Though.
Yeah.
I don't know
It
why
has
it was
no
there.
purpose.
It was so random. I was like, why is this woman yelling about coffee sizes and drinks? It was, yeah, it was almost as if he just went, I'm going to add this in because I had a bad day once on set, and I just think the scene would encapsulate this really well. I went to Starbucks.
It was like something he added in like that day. It was like, I've just been in a coffee line.
Yeah, and he was
Let's
like,
put
this is
scene in
amazing.
here now. He was trying to say something about like Bush's like handling of 9/11, I guess. It was like an insistence that like Bin Laden and Bush were friends. And that's like how they end the movie, is like them skipping hand in hand down like a meadow through
Oh, yeah.
as like nukes
This
go
music
off. I was
playing,
like, what are
yeah.
you trying to say here?
Yeah, I feel like that actually could have been funny if it was handled well,
You know,
but
it
they
was
don't
like,
do anything.
it
with
wasn't very intelligent. I just thought, oh yeah, how astute of you.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing
the-
to be said here.
There's the bit where Bin Laden calls him, like asking him to bail him out, and he like quotes Brokeback Mountain, where he's like, "I wish I could quit you."
Yeah.
I knew he said that, but I wasn't sure if that's what he said, so I ignored it.
Yeah, I don't like when bad movies make reference to better movies.
Yeah, because
To
I could
prop
just watch a
themselves up.
better movie.
Yeah.
Agreed. Do
There was
wanna-
also
oh,
like
okay.
Postal dude's wife, who's just like fat, and every time she's on,
Excuse me, the
scene-
word is overweight, Christopher. We don't want haters on this
I
channel.
don't care.
Okay, thank you.
Every time she's on screen or like reference, they like make a joke about how big she is. Like there's multiple scenes where she's having sex with people, and like the entire trailer's shaking. There's a
Yep.
bit where
very
Postal dude
trashy.
blows her up with an explosive, and like her fat and body parts start like raining over the town, and it's just
Yeah.
really cringe.
It's so shit. It's like that's the lowest kind of like form of humor, though, isn't it? It's like you know, when you see Kevin James and Rebel Wilson, well, not anymore, but they'd make jokes like, "Haha, I'm the fat friend. I'm the fat friend." And it's like, oh, shut up.
The joke is they're fat.
Yeah.
Ha.
Okay.
There's a lot of really weird, like gross out stuff that just doesn't work. Like there's that bit where Uncle Dave is taking a shit, and like his assistant's there, like going, oh no, and it goes on for way too long.
Yeah, it's annoying. Why you have a toilet there? Those that fucking guy with Dave, Uncle Dave. It was really annoying. He's just there to like look. I think he thinks he's so fucking cool. Like, look at all these sexy ladies I have around me. That was a big problem I had with the movie. Was like women were just there to be like objects, or to be fucked, or to just be fat, I guess.
Yeah, there's that bit where he makes out with his assistant. He's like, "Oh my god, I'm gay," and then he gets shot, and he touches a woman's boob, and he's like, "Oh, I'm actually bi," and that's it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like, every time he was like on the phone to someone, he would like in bed with a bunch of women. I was like, what is
Oh,
it?
yeah. I mean,
I don't appreciate it.
it's
This is
really
another one of the atrocities this movie commits. Like, I don't really. It's just like a drop in the ocean, really.
Yeah,
I feel like
But what do you fucking expect?
it literally just has every sort of like faux pas that a movie can commit in it, to be honest.
yeah. I think it goes way too hard with like the shock, like humor.
Yeah, like I
It
totally.
just doesn't work at
Yeah,
all.
this is it. I feel like it's totally intentional the way they've made it so like not bad, but I mean like the things that they've added in, like, oh yeah, we got to add in 9/11, we got to add in this, we got to add in racism, we got to add in this.
Yeah, we've
But
got
is
to
it good?
have
No.
loads of children and disabled people being shot.
Yeah,
Have to have a baby get hit by a van.
they're just making it controversial for controversial sake, and it doesn't make it a good movie.
Yeah.
It just makes it a pile
And,
of
like,
shit.
Anytime he tries to go into like making fun of like the Taliban or any sort of race thing, it's just like the most overused cliched stereotypes, and he doesn't add anything new to it. It's not funny. It is literally just racist.
Yeah, like if you want to watch a better film about mocking the Taliban, you got to watch. What was it, Four Lions?
Lions?
That film is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much better than this.
That is so much better than that.
Well, any film is better than this, but that film in particular tackles it so much better than.
I feel like Team America also does a lot of the themes that this is kind of going for as well. like that sort of terrorism, like America sort of.
Yeah, and that's meant to be
stance.
shocking as well, but it does it better,
Yeah, because
doesn't
that's
it?
by the South Park guys who kind
Yeah.
of know how to do this kind of edgy satirical humor well.
Yeah, they're very
Mhm.
politically charged, I think. I think they know a lot more about the world than this geezer does. Well, like, you know, how to express the things that are going on, but in like a funnier kind of way. Like, this film didn't make me feel anything other than bored. And I don't know, like, that's a bit, that for me, I
Yeah.
hate, if I'm wasting my time watching a film that
This
bores
was a
me.
waste of time.
And for 2 fucking hours, Chris looked at me and went, oh, it's 2 hours. And we
Yeah,
were like, shit.
So the original theatrical cut is an hour 40. The film's on YouTube for free, and we realised when we went to watch it, it was actually the director's cut, which is 2 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
So
Criminal.
we basically watched like an extra 20 minutes for no reason.
I wanna-
Well, I mean, did it not level out though? Because we watched it at 1.5 times speed about halfway
Probably.
through.
Yeah. What I want to know is what was cut out of it, because it was so
Yeah.
bad. You should have just cut out the whole fucking film.
I read like things that say what's actually was cut out and what's been added in the director's cut, and it was nothing really substantial. Just a lot
As
of
always.
random scenes.
Everything in this film was a random scene. It was just like
Yeah.
scenes.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
Stitched.
what could they possibly have cut out? Right. Take your pick.
Yeah, everything.
Literally take your pick. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. There's nothing really leads on to the next scene. Anyway, talking about leading on to the next thing.
Yeah, can we rate
Ratings?
this? Can we get away from
I
this?
just wanted to bring up the fact that this film grossed less than 1% of its budget.
Okay, what
Yeah.
was that then? Go on quickly.
It
for me.
made 150 grand.
That's way more than I thought
With
it
a
was going
budget
to
of what, like, was it 15 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. R.I.P.
I'm glad Uwe Boll has given up because no one will fund his movies anymore.
And this is why. This is exactly.
He tried to
it.
get his films funded on Kickstarter, but no one would do it.
Mm. Oh well. He's probably fine. I think he's doing like restaurants and
Yeah, he is. Apparently his restaurants are all really good.
Mm-hmm. Well, there we go. Nice, good on him.
Yeah, everyone has a niche thing that they're good at, and films is not his one.
Not at all.
He's a restaurant man.
The restaurant man.
I
We're
wish
doing
him
this
luck.
one at a restaurant man's.
Yes. I wish him luck.
Restaurant men?
Yeah,
Yes,
Or
sure.
restaurant mans?
Restaurant
Mans.
man's.
Okay. Yeah, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's better than Shrek the Musical, but it's probably...
Actually, no. I wouldn't even say it was better than Shrek the Musical. I would not.
Yeah, they're kind of very close together for me.
No.
But yeah, this is maybe the worst thing we've talked about on this podcast. I apologise. 1 restaurant man's out of 10.
You can just say one restaurant man. Like it's it doesn't matter.
Yeah, how painful it was for him to say man's. He went, man's.
It's just the one. It's one singular man. This is not the worst movie I've ever watched. Like, far from it. I've watched a lot of shit. But still, it didn't pass the Bechdel test. 1 restaurant man out of 10.
I don't think any of his films do, to be fair.
That's disgusting.
Is there a possibility that I can rate this a 0 restaurant man out of
Yeah.
10?
Do what you want.
Then fuck it, 0.
Cool.
Thank you.
I rated Shrek the Musical a 0.
Right,
Yeah,
let
you
me
were
tell
wrong to
you.
do
Let
so,
me
but,
tell
you
you
know.
why Shrek the Musical was better than this film.
It had a plot.
I laughed at Shrek the Musical at least because it was fucking terrible. This film didn't make me laugh. This film made me cringe and bored. Shrek the Musical had
It had makeup.
Shrek. Yeah, that was terrible.
It
Also,
had singing.
Had a dragon.
it
had
did have a dragon.
You know, you're not giving it as much credit as I feel it's due. Anyway, we watched some
Speaking
movie.
of giving credit where it's due.
Being giving credit where it's epic. We
Did you
watched
say Rampage?
Rampage from 2018. It was directed by Brad Payton, and it stars The Rock, and he plays the guy called Davis Okoye. He's a primatologist, so he's like he ologists on the primates, and he teams up with a geneticist called Kate Caldwell, Dr. Kate Caldwell, and he tries to save George of the jungle. Curious George, who's a monkey, is an albino gorilla,
Mhm.
and because of like a meteor that's crashed with like some boxes in them from like a spaceship, where a big rat went insane and killed a bunch of astronauts. all the boxes in there crashed into America, and only America for some reason. And so a few of these animals get like radiation poisoning from these boxes, and they grow really big, and then like they go over and they run around being big, being epic, destroying places, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has to be like, we gotta stop these big animals, let's do it. So this is based off the game Rampage, I believe, which I've never played, but I wanted to watch this movie because Dwayne Johnson is in it.
That is.
Well, that's the only reason.
That is the only reason I wanted to watch it.
The game is pretty epic. You actually control the animals.
Oh, that's cool, man.
You're like destroying buildings and fighting the military.
Cool. Wow. Yeah, nice. I play it.
Pretty sure you can play it on a web browser.
Oh, nice. Okay. Cool. I'll write that down.
Yeah,
and I'll do that later.
Instead of having this discussion, Max will just now go on Rampage.
What I'll say is, interestingly enough, in the late March of 2018, a little friend of ours, Uwe Boll, threatened to file a lawsuit against Warner Brothers if the studio did not change the film's title, because he had produced and directed an unrelated Rampage trilogy, you know? And that kind of shared his own political views, and he claimed that Warner Brothers' film would like shrink his brand and revenues that he could use for further installments, like in his Rampage films. He said that The Rock Rampage confuses the audience and is one of those typical feel-good popcorn movies. I mean, he's still not sued, I don't think.
Yeah, I think he probably just gave up because he knew nothing would happen.
He's doing his restaurants. He doesn't have time for it. So now we've got Rampage, the good one. Yeah. Awesome.
It was a movie.
Yes.
I'm actually running out of things to say. Like I'm struggling to form sentences.
What's there to say past the plot? It's like big gorilla, big monkey.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Johnson is there. He like fist bumps the monkey a lot.
I love when he fist bumps the monkey.
I like that they think this movie is really cool. That's where I got my enjoyment from it. Because if it thought that it was stupid, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it so much. And that's not to say I enjoyed it really. I was kind of bored.
Yeah, it's very boring.
But you know, when he fist bumps the monkey, that was cool.
I've got to admit, we must have laughed every single time he fist bumped that monkey.
Language with Curious George, and George is such a character, man. He's making jokes. He's laughing. Oh man, he's great.
Is this really what we're saying?
I love this.
This is our conversation
I love his
about
relationship
this.
with The Rock. They're best friends, you know.
Oh my god!
And for what it's worth, CGI is all right.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
what you expect.
Yeah, it was all right.
I think the games are very, very silly because something with this plot kind of has to be. But I felt like this film took itself a bit too seriously. It
was trying to be like a really awesome action movie.
Yeah, I wish it was more kooky.
And also like a vehicle for The Rock to be a badass action hero again.
Because he can't die. He's not allowed. Oh no, what is it? No, he can't lose a fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually looked that up. So I've got like a Screen Rant article here.
Okay.
It says outside of the Fast and Furious franchise, Dwayne Johnson, this is kind of about like The Rock, Vin Diesel, and Jason Statham. And it says all three of these actors have had their fair share of action films, but most of the time, because they're the faces of those projects, they're like not allowed to get hit, or like then they can't lose in a fight. And I think specifically with Dwayne Johnson, as I read, he's not allowed to take more than he can give. It's like if he gets like punched a lot, he'd have to like punch them just as hard or like just as much, and he also can't lose. So I don't know if that like translates to all of his movies, but I have a feeling it does because I've never seen him lose a fight in a movie.
No.
And I mean, he like straight up gets shot in this one. I was like, ha, You think a bullet can stop the Rock? Haven't you read his contract? You think you can kill the Rock in this movie? He's contractually protected.
Yeah, I love how he just gets up and he goes, "Oh, it didn't hit any
I'm
vital
alright,
organs, so
yeah.
we're okay."
Yeah.
I'll be all right, guys.
And that's the last we hear about it. There's like another 20 minutes of the movie, and it's just like it never happened.
Yeah, he doesn't even act like he's been wounded. He's just like, yeah.
Can like force the bullet out like Wolverine or something.
Yeah, like healed
Like,
up instantly.
I'm like 50 layers of muscle. It barely penetrated the skin.
Oh, fucking hell.
There's like a big wolf in this as well, and so like there's the army who go into the forest to track this wolf, and they're on like a helicopter, and then like I guess they want to kill the wolf because it's like huge, but then they get to the forest and they're like, what the fuck? Why are they so like, oh my god, this wolf is huge?
Yeah,
and
didn't
it's
they
like,
go
why are
up
you so
to-
surprised?
Yeah, did they know they were going to go hunt
Yeah,
a
it was
big
like,
wolf?
isn't that why you're there? Why would you be hunting a regular sized wolf?
Yeah, maybe they thought it wasn't going to be as big as it was. It's so stupid.
And the wolf just fucking destroys these guys. There was like a guy who was set up at the beginning. He like had a scar on his face because he's awesome. And we're like, oh man, this guy means business. And he gets eaten by a wolf. And you're like, oh, okay. That's the end of that guy. And it didn't matter. Back to the Rock, who's on a jet plane with a big monkey in a cage. Like, oh man, this ain't gonna go down well. He's in a cage. Like, we've got him heavily sedated. He's not gonna go anywhere. I'm like, oh man, you haven't watched a movie before. This is not gonna go your way. That guy from Walking Dead.
Oh yes, that guy from the Walking Dead, indeed.
Wasn't he like, so yeah, like the plane starts crashing and George gets out of his cage and he's like, coming out of my cage, I've been doing just fine. And then he like takes up the guy from Walking Dead, throws him across the plane. His organs like, and he's fucked up, man. And then like, he's fine though.
Chris has zoned out this conversation entirely.
No, I'm listening to it.
He's just letting Max rant on about whatever the fuck he's talking
Because
about.
this description is like more entertaining than the actual film was.
Oh yeah, like what? Listening to Max just rant on is just.
On paper, everything in this film sounds so ridiculous and silly and stupid.
You think it'd be a
but
great
when
film.
you actually watch it, it's
think it
just
would be
so
awesome.
dull.
Yeah, like I thought it was going to be so stupid. It was going to be great. Like I hate to say it again, but I compared it a bit to the Zookeeper, where I thought it was like so awful, but like at least the Zookeeper made me laugh. Actually, no, this film did make me laugh. That's not true. But well, I just don't know what to say about this movie. There's just it's just everything and nothing.
They try and make you like really sad whenever George gets hurt. But
Oh yeah,
like,
good point. I actually asked at one point. I turned to the boys and said, "Am I meant to be like crying right now?"
But they like only spend one scene showing him as a normal gorilla and like showing him and The Rock.
Yeah.
Like,
They have a
interacting.
connection.
A normal gorilla.
No, they have a connection. Then you see them fist bump.
About
they're
4 times,
mates.
Max.
And then Dwayne's always like, that guy is my best friend. I don't even like people. I like the monkeys.
But like,
It's always like, man, whatever you do, you better not hurt my best friend, man. This guy's my world. What? Though, how did they like create this like serum that like went from space with a giant rat and then it into America? There's like, what is it? Fucking what's her face? She's like, Naomi Harris is like, oh, you know, CRISPR, because that's the fucking company who made the serum. It's like CRISPR combined the genes of a shark, a blue whale, and a beetle, and
I just
other
remember this,
animals
and she's
to
like,
create the ultimate big animal.
and I am the only one who can save George.
Like, yeah, they're definitely, these guys are smart. They created an antidote. I'm like, what? Because she worked for them, but it's like, what do you mean they created an antidote? First of all, why would you ever want to cure this? Because it's epic.
Yeah, and what was the need? Yeah, what was the need for an antidote? Was there like another animal before George? I don't.
What
quite
was like
understand.
the point
Yeah.
as well? Why do you want to make these animals really big?
Yeah, like even the villains didn't make sense. They were like, oh yeah, if we captured George, we can sell him for a mint or something. I don't know.
A lot of the time in these movies, it's like, oh yeah, we can use them as a super weapon and we'll win every war.
We will arm the American army with
giant
massive gorillas, and they'll defeat all our enemies. We'll send the big gorillas to fight our wars for us.
All Ukraine need right now is a giant crocodile.
Fuck yeah, the fucking crocodile. Yeah, he shows up.
I thought it was
We're
a dinosaur.
Yeah, it was like, they don't really show it at the beginning. It's like, oh, here's something you probably need to know for the third act. And then we don't see the crocodile for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then he Godzilla's his way through like the river in New York or wherever the fuck they are in Chicago.
There's that scene where he like comes out of the water and it looks awful.
Yeah.
Like the water effects are so bad.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, there was a crocodile. I forgot about that guy. He didn't do much though. I thought, there's a crocodile? I guess it was like they like put the beacon on to attract the animals. I don't know why they needed this big tower to like attract the big animals. If they didn't already think those animals were going to be really far away. So wasn't this like some sort of genetic engineering you wanted to do like on your own terms? Why do you have like this big like staff coming out of your building that like projects a beam to attract the big animals?
Maybe they want to see if other big animal. I don't know. Yeah, because who else is making these big animals to attract the other big? Yeah, you got a good point.
We got to corner the big animal market because a lot of other companies are stealing our ideas for big animals.
They got a patent pen.
They got a patent on
on the big animal,
the big animal market,
the shark beetle jaguar thing.
I also thought they spent a bit too much time with these geezers, like on Wall Street. They were like, "Oh man, the big animals, they're everywhere, man. We gotta get the big animals back." It's like, I don't care. Just show me the big animals. That was where the fun was. The fun was when Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he is with the monkey, but he's not with the monkey nearly enough. How fucking long is this movie? It's like 2 hours long.
Yeah, it's hour and 40.
Yeah, it's an hour and 50, it says. Yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up, and I was just like, we don't see this monkey nearly enough. I'll tell you that now. That's what you want to see. That's why I was like disappointed with that Godzilla movie. Came out in like, was it like 2014 or some shit? Like, fucking hell, that was boring because they never showed Godzilla. Like, they showed the big animals more in this than they do Godzilla and Godzilla, or in that iteration of Godzilla. I'm like, yeah, you're kind of getting it right, but you're sort of getting it completely wrong. It's like they don't even know like what audiences want. It's like, yeah, we want a lot of exposition about why the animals are big and why we need to capture the animals. It's like, dude, in reality, when you're in a cinema, you don't give a fuck about fucking exposition. You know you're there to see the big monkey fight the crocodile and the wolf, and that's what you want. So why do we need like an hour of fucking exposition about why these animals are big and why they need to get the animals back?
That newest Godzilla movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, was kind of like that, where they did lean much heavier into the monster fighting than they did in the previous two recent Godzilla movies. But there's still so many like human characters, and it's like, this isn't why people come to these movies. People don't give a shit about the humans. They're here to see a monkey and a crocodile fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it is true.
That's
though,
true.
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So like, we're way behind the times. It's like, I think it's so like important to have like these different, like a story going on. It's like, your story can be loose as shit. Just make sure it's there. But then also dedicate more time to these big spectacle action movies, because that's what you want to see when you go to the cinema. It's very much like a cinema movie, you know, as are all Dwayne Johnson's movies.
I think the problem is you obviously do have a limited budget, so you do have to have those scenes that are kind of there just to pad out the runtime that were cheap to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't have all gorilla and crocodile action.
No, you can't have like every scene be like a $100 million scene.
No, I'm not like saying make every scene a fight between the wolf and the crocodile and the gorilla. I'm just saying like put more of it in there because that's what people want.
Or make the human stuff interesting.
Well, they failed at that, so like I want to do like the one thing they were actually good at, even though they weren't.
just
like,
add in more
completely good at it.
crocodile.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like kind of like a worse Kong Skull Island, which I actually quite like. I think that kind of got that aspect done better, and especially with like the human characters who were actually like at least semi-interesting to watch, you know.
Yeah, I found there was like way too many characters in this.
Yeah, I don't really know who's in it. You got like Naomi Harris and The Rock, and the guy from Walking Dead. That's about it. I don't
Then
know.
you
I don't
had
know
like
anyone else.
the bad guys who are
Like brother and
there.
sister or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
We gotta stop. What does Dwayne Johnson think? Like, so like his best friend gets turned like really big, which I didn't realize like at first. They were like, oh my god, he's gotten so big. I was like, he looks the same. He's like the same size. But he's like, he finds like the capsule from space. He's like, I have to figure out what this is. It's like, you're like a zoologist. What do you care? What do you have the means to find out what this is? I'm like, so why do you have the means to find out what this is? Because you're just like working at a zoo. And why do you care?
Because he needs to save his friend.
But he was perfectly safe.
Also,
He like killed a bear.
is a primatologist even a thing?
Yeah, it's like an ologist of primates.
Yeah, but is it actually a thing?
Yeah, it's like one of those guys who specializes in monkeys, in the primates, because they're prime mates, and that's why they were best friends. Because he was the prime mate.
That's a fair point, actually. Yeah, they should have called this film Primates.
What is
They
this? It's
wasted
like
opportunity.
this is a 12. You could say fuck one time, right? A 12.
yeah.
Did they?
So like they tried, but like there's like Dwayne Johnson, like there was a monkey and the wolf, or was it the crocodile? Yeah, it was the monkey and the crocodile who were having a fight in Chicago, and then like everything's exploded and like the buildings have fallen down, but Dwayne Johnson's still alive because he can't die, and he's also been shot, and just like I don't know, hours after he's been shot, he's fine. But we established why he can't be killed because he's awesome. He like gets into this helicopter that's like broken down. He like shoots at the crocodile. But like before he shoots at the crocodile, he says, "Oh, you mess with my friend, you'll mess with me, mother." And then it cuts, and then the gun goes off. I'm like, couldn't you have just put that in there?
Yeah,
And if
of
you
course
can't,
you
why have it in there at all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like in that end credit scene in Infinity War where Nick Fury starts fading away as he says it.
Yeah. At least then, I guess you could like understand why that couldn't be, or like why they chose not to show it. I guess, even though like who cares?
Yeah, like X-Men.
But this is like they literally
cut.
cut. They literally cut. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
What's
wish
the point?
films would like really push the age limit to
Mhm.
the limit. Like do everything you possibly can.
Who's gonna fucking like really? Like who's gonna go on like IMDb or like the cinema like review site on like Google or whatever and go, you know what? This movie was actually really good until Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson said fuck, and now I just didn't have a good time.
Yeah, you know there are like parents out there who are like that. But
I just wanted
at the
to
same
show
time,
my son
it's
a
12.
movie about a big monkey who fights with the wolf and the crocodile, and that really ruined my day.
Yep.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson. He's awesome.
yeah,
He
I was
like-
about to
he
bring
like-
him up.
Chokes out a guy, and he's like, because he like punches a guy in the face, and he chokes out this other. He's like, "You don't want me to do to you? You don't want to stop me, guys." They're like army guys. He's trying to escape this complex, and he's like, I'm gonna punch you in the face, and I'm gonna knock your teeth out, and then I'm gonna suffocate you until you wet yourself." And then he does it, and he thinks it's so cool. He's like, he says of his own arm, he says, "That's a big arm. Don't fight it. Sleepy time." I was like, wow, who the fuck wrote this shit?
Yeah, the writing is really bad.
It's like Madagascar.
But
too. There's literally like a Madagascar line in it
yeah,
where he's like, he sees the crocodile and he goes, "Well, that sucks." Like, oh, okay. Like
Yeah,
in
you're right.
Madagascar. Yeah.
I hate Dwayne Johnson.
Why?
Just thought I should bring that up. He sucks. He's a terrible actor. He literally plays the same character in every single film.
I think that's quite mean.
I don't care.
I mean, yeah, he's never been in a good movie. Let's face it.
No.
I don't know that I don't hate him.
I
just
don't
think,
hate him either, actually.
Like,
I don't think about him, if that helps, though. Like, I don't ever watch a film and go, God, it's got The Rock in it.
if
I must
anything,
watch
I
it.
appreciate that I can look at a movie and go, Dwayne Johnson is in this, so I can avoid it.
Yeah. It's like,
It's
the,
yeah,
it's like the
But
same
that
as like
sounds
Ryan
bad.
Reynolds.
yeah. It's like Ryan Reynolds is in this movie. I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, it's gonna be shit.
I've got to admit that there is a
There are a few
horrible
people
precedence
like
for that, isn't there? You can always look at an actor and know whether a film's going to be good or not.
Yeah, I always say like I want to see Dwayne Johnson in like a tragic drama or like some sort of period drama where he plays like a
I don't think
Victorian.
that's him, though, is it? It's not.
No, but it would be funny
I think it. I mean,
if he was like in Pride and Prejudice.
actors have
If
done
he
it
was like
before,
Mr.
I
Darcy.
suppose.
In Pride and Prejudice, I'd enjoy that a bit more.
Yeah, imagine if he was like in a like straight drama, he was actually like great in it.
If he was in a Mikhail Haneke movie,
This is the
I'd
thing.
watch the shit out of that.
You never know, right? He could actually be a decent actor. He's just never done it. You never know.
This is just never done. I don't know.
No, I mean in the sense of like he's only ever been in like goofy films.
Well, I don't know. I think Moana was supposed to be good, but I never saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked him in Moana actually.
Yeah?
No,
Okay.
I tell a lie. He
Maybe
was good
that's-
in that film, but he technically wasn't really in the film. He just voiced.
Well, he was voicing it. That's enough.
Yeah, no, I liked him in that film. I did. I genuinely did.
Not that he's a voice actor, but you know.
No, but if I have to give him props for any film he's ever been in,
Yeah, sure.
that would be the film.
I loved when we were watching this, and then Darcy said, "Say what you will about Dwayne, at least he's not an animal herder."
Did you write that down?
Yeah, I wrote that down. I thought, oh, wow, okay.
I just like the looks that came at me that were just.
So what if he was an
Yeah,
animal
just met
herder?
with what? What do
Yeah.
you mean? What
I
does
was
that
trying
mean?
to like work out where like how your brain has taken you to that point.
I think you meant poacher.
Yeah, she did.
Say what you will about Dwayne Johnson, at least he's not an animal poacher. That would have made more sense.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, at least he doesn't kill animals, I suppose. Like, at least he doesn't kill like endangered animals in like Africa or something. It's like, yeah, I guess when you put it like that, I actually don't think he's just that bad a guy.
Well, you know what? To be honest, I don't even know why I said it, so I can't even comment on it. I just know that I said it. I don't know why.
he's like always gagging for a fight as well. He like knocks those two guys out, and then like he can't knock the guy from Walking Dead out even because he was like nice to him. He just like says to Naomi Harris, he's like, "Oh, you know what? I wish I could have knocked him out too." It's like if he had his way, he'd like smack down everyone who crossed his path, whether they were with him or against him. Oh, that was quite a left turn from like this guy who loves animals,
Ah.
but maybe it was completely in keeping with the guy who loves animals and hates people. I don't know.
Actually, yeah, it kind of does make sense. It's kind of like those people that are like, I only like dogs and not
Yeah.
people.
I like dogs more than I like people.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Uh-huh. We get it, but you're annoying to be around.
Yeah, like you say that we're annoying, but it's actually you.
Do we want to do ratings?
I think so.
Oh,
Would
yeah,
you want
did
to rate it though?
Did you guys see that the poster for the film has the tagline "Big Meek Bigger"?
Yeah, I really have nothing to say on that.
Yeah.
I don't want to comment on that.
Big
Can we
meat
rate,
bigger.
please?
Let's just brush past that. We'll do it out of monkeys. Do it out of big animals. I said big animals.
It's just a run-of-the-mill generic action movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever. It's not my kind of thing, so I just didn't enjoy it. I give it like 4 big animals. Is that what we were like rating out?
I actually-
Four
funny.
big animals.
I
Sounds
forgot
funny,
what the
so why
system
not?
was.
I liked when the guy shows Dwayne or like whoever a video of the big wolf, and he's like, "Weirdos on the internet are calling him Ralph." It's like, okay, and that was it. And then they never called him Ralph again. And so I guess like that was it. I mean, they didn't give like the crocodile a name.
He does have a name, but I can't remember what it was.
It's Crocodile.
It's
It's like Mikey or something weird like that.
it's
anyone called
Rampage.
Mikey, sorry, you have a weird
It's,
name.
Yeah, it's Rampage. The crocodile's name was Rampage, and it was actually all about him. This movie was awesome and epic, and Dwayne, he is there. It is not Dwayne Johnson's worst movie. Might be his best movie. I can't think of anything else.
Moana.
I haven't seen Moana.
Well, I'm telling you now.
Maybe Moana is better. This one is not great.
Cool.
Yeah, 3 big animals out of 10.
2 big animals out of 10.
Cool.
Well.
We got the last one to do now. The last of the, which is not like technically like a game movie based on a video game, but it's like video game themed. So we'll let it
Yes.
slide.
Yeah, in fairness, I did ask Chris if I could pick it, and he said yes.
I said, yeah, technically.
So I'll go with the basis that I had permission to pick it. Anyway, I picked the Disney movie that everyone knows and or loves, Wreck-It Ralph from 2012.
The big wolf from Rampage.
Yeah, it's actually called Wreck-It Rampage.
Okay.
And it's just about this villain from a Fix-It Felix Jr. game called Wreck-It Ralph, and how he doesn't want to be a villain anymore. He wants to be a good guy. So he goes away from his game and goes to other games in the gaming world.
Why?
There's other things that happen, but
He wants to get a medal because they're
look how long the plot line in
Yeah, he's
Letterboxd is. So
can I come up to the penthouse with you guys? And they're like, you can if you get a medal. And he's like, I'm gonna go get a medal then. So he goes into another game to like get a medal.
it's called Hero's Duty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. What do we think?
Disney love their outcast stories.
They do that. Like I said, yeah. Well, you said,
Yeah.
but I'm agreeing.
Hmm.
I've seen this a few times, and I remember liking it a lot more than I did this time. I think the last time I watched it, actually, I was kind of like, oh, that's okay, but it's not as great as I thought it was the first time I watched it, and that's kind of how I felt this time. It's okay. It's got stuff I really, really like in it, but after like the first 20 minutes, it's just not really anything I am interested in.
Yeah, I only watched it once, and it was with my baby cousin, and I think I liked it more because he was into it. I kind of had that, that vibey energy where it's like, oh, he's having a great time, I'm having a great time.
I like everything until they go into the candy game, Sugar Rush. Everything after that, I just don't care.
Till they go into Candied Mario Kart.
Yeah.
I think I only really had one problem with this film.
Only one.
Well, like one that I can think that stands out in my mind as like really bothering me.
Mhm.
And that was this strange love story between what's her name and Felix Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Jane Lynch.
What the fuck was that?
It's funny because she's a strong woman and he is a little man and he loves
Yeah.
her.
I mean, at first, it's kind of funny just because of how out of nowhere and silly it is. But when they're repeating that same joke like 30, 40 times, it gets incredibly repetitive and unfunny.
Yeah, I would argue it's not funny ever. Yeah, I just thought like the movie itself, like the plot hinges on like basically everyone being an idiot and like Ralph being an idiot. It's very contrived. He's like, I'm gonna get this medal so I can be part of this gang. But like, no one thought that if he did this, the fact that he was away from the game for a while meant that he'd get shut down, even though that happened to like that other guy, that Turbo dude.
Yeah, Turbo.
And like they knew that was, surely they knew that was going to happen if like he left and like nobody takes him up on it. And like that was a big thing. That,
Yeah,
like,
no, because they said that, didn't they? They went,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't think he was going to go Turbo,
Yeah.
even though he was literally like,
you told him to. Yeah. They're like, just go and get the medal then.
Yeah.
He's like, fine, I will. And then they're like, I was actually, yeah, probably should have thought about that a bit more. And then they like almost get shut down. Which weirdly never happens to, what is it, that Hero's Glory game when like Jane Lynch goes away to like get the bug.
Yeah.
She's fine. Even though she's like the main person in that game. When she leaves, that game's fine.
Yeah,
Nothing
maybe no one plays it, so no one noticed.
No one noticed because that game sucked.
But that's my theory, because games were getting shut down because people were playing it and then reporting it. So it's clear that no one's ever played that Heroes Duty game, because otherwise they would have seen it.
Yeah, except for that one person who plays it, and Ralph's like there fucking it up. The stuff I really like about this film is like the way it embraces like classic, like retro 80s video games.
Let's just say it does it better than Ready Player One.
Oh yeah, well I mean like every film does everything better than that movie does.
I fucking hate that film.
I have a huge soft spot for those old games, so like a lot of stuff just really resonated with me. Like it's clearly made by someone who loves video games, like, and there's a lot of that in the visuals, like the look of the arcade games. Like you got Fix It Felix and Tapper, which is a pre-existing game. Like the NPCs and both of them like move in like really stilted way, like capturing like the low frame rate of those retro games. There's a bit where Ralph smashes a cake up, and like the way, and he breaks part of the building as well, and it like breaks into blocks, and like the cake is smashed all over the place, like this 8-bit sort of way. And also a lot of the score as well, especially early on, has this like chiptune, like 80s video game kind of sound, which I think really sounds pretty cool. I like the way they blend that with orchestral sounds. Yeah, that's really my favorite stuff, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously like the animation's very good, but I do kind of expect that because it is Disney.
Yeah.
I don't think they really do anything so different with it here, but not that I expected it. There's like, what is it? Like Vanellope, who's like this girl in the candy game who's like, she's like a glitch, and they're like, you're a glitch, baby. You can come in, you can race in here because you're a glitch. Get out of here. I was like, discrimination.
Another
like,
outcast.
I'm not a glitch, I have Pixlexia. It's like, fucking hell, who came up with that shit?
Was that actually a thing that was said?
Yeah, I have Pixlexia.
Wow.
Okay.
My biggest problem, apart from the whole Jane Lynch thing, also thank you for reminding me what her name was, because I was going, what the fuck is her name? Was just the fact that like it was a nice wholesome kind of film, you know, like and this is it, I'm even saying it with that face of, it was a nice wholesome film, but I've seen Disney do this a million times.
Yeah, like they try and be kind of emotional at points, and none of that really hits at all.
I think that's how people would like defend this movie, I guess, for watching it from like a different perspective. It's like, oh, what are you against it? It's just like a fun little nice family movie.
And it is.
Why are you getting so like uptight about it? It's like, yeah, it is. But maybe I want more. I don't know. I guess I'm just tired of fucking seeing Disney do the same shit over and over again.
It is very much that whole
like
cookie cutter
of like,
family
it's a
thing.
game.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but it's also a Disney movie.
And you're right, it's that painful outsider stereotype. Like, I kind of like what they were going to go for, like, oh, it's about villains of games. Okay. And then it just turned into, oh, we're the good guys now. And it's like, oh,
we're not
come
really
on.
villains. Just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy. Know what I mean?
Do you know what that line nearly cracked me out, because I was like, what the fuck? What's that even mean?
Yeah. I do like the way that they connect all these games together. Like they have this huge like tube station that lead into all the games.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
that's
cute.
kind of creative. I like that. There's also this like scene early on where they're at this, it's called Bad Anon, where it's like they've got all these villains from other video games just together in like almost an Alcoholics Anonymous sort of meeting. I really enjoyed seeing Dr. Eggman from Sonic just sat there because he looks so out of place.
Yeah.
Like every time there was a shot of him, I was like, he does not look like he fits there.
Got a lot of the Nintendo crew here.
Sonic's in it. That was
there.
great.
He's
not
like a
Nintendo,
poster.
but
He's
he's
like,
there.
Oh yeah, I liked when he was in it. He only said what
If you die in the game, if you die in real life, it's like, okay.
I like that because at least I don't know.
That's how they like set up the stakes.
Yeah,
like,
I like that.
If you die in someone else's game, you die for real.
You don't regenerate.
It's like the Matrix.
I am so sorry.
You like how the Candy King, like, he throws the candy down to the candy people? It's like, here, feast on the candy.
Cannibals.
Candy people. Okay.
Do you know what the worst part is? When Max
It's like the equivalent of like the Queen throwing flesh down to us, and like we eat the flesh that she throws down.
No joke.
Palace.
When Max was talking about the candy people, do you know what the first thing I thought of was Marshmallow.
Marshmallow from Legends of Oz.
Yeah. Oh man, that guy was great. They don't have a marshmallow here. They don't have anyone near as cool as him.
She references that because she saw me editing a video I'm working on about that movie at the moment.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
It was like the second he said candy people, I was like, oh my god, Marshmallow.
Because I spent almost an hour working on this really stupid
meme.
picture.
You can't tell them what it is.
2
No.
seconds.
Yeah, you can't tell them what it is. You have to watch his videos.
Yeah.
This is a shameless plug for you, by the way, Chris. You could start promoting your YouTube channel.
Yeah. You got King Candy in this, who's based off Edwin, and he kind of looks almost exactly like the Mad Hatter.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of, yeah. You definitely tell.
Well,
got that vibe.
At least it was something.
He's got something, all right. Yeah. I didn't like that fucking reveal where like Penelope was the main character of the game all along.
She's
it was
the princess.
Yeah, she was a princess. It was like and then she wasn't allowed to win the game because like the other guy didn't want her to, so he could be in power because he was King Candy. But then like she should have just been like a regular ass like character, but then like that like wanted to strive for something to. I guess like that would have been more interesting, where it's like it's just this random character who's trying to like break free of the mold of being like an extra, I guess. But then she wasn't. She was like the main character.
She didn't need
and then,
to be
like,
a princess.
She crossed the finish line, and then I was like, "Oh man, now she's being Beauty and the Beasted, and she'll turn into a beautiful prince." And then it actually fucking happened. You didn't need to do that.
I didn't really think that there was any need to make her a princess at all, to be honest.
No, they make like a big deal about how King Candy removed her code from the game, and that's why she's glitching. But like that doesn't really make any sense at all. Like, wouldn't it just remove her from the game entirely?
Yeah, because you can't just. Yeah, but that's when you know someone doesn't know coding very well. Because you take out part of a code, you've completely fucked it. It won't glitch. It will literally disappear.
If you take out like a little bit of the code or change like the code, then
it will change
glitching.
her.
But if you remove it entirely, then it just removes it.
Yeah, like you
doesn't make any sense. There's this whole sequence where King Candy says to Ralph, he's like, you can't let Vanellope race because if she does, she'll be added to the roster, and when she starts glitching out, everyone's gonna want the game fixed and they're gonna shut it down and everyone's gonna be out of a home.
But the thing is, even afterwards, she's glitching anyway.
Yeah, and they like completely disregard that, and Ralph he's very adamant on her racing still, even though she could still glitch out and someone could be like, oh, the game's broken and all these people will be homeless.
Yeah. You might as well have just said, Ralph, this movie needs a second act low point, Ralph. You need to betray Vanellope so we can have the second act low point.
I mean, I think that might be it makes the most sense, doesn't it? Because I felt like it was leading up to nothing, so something had to happen there, didn't it? You know?
It's just very predictable.
Yeah, they couldn't just make a cart and have a happy time.
When you watch as many movies as we do, it's like obvious what's going to happen in a movie that's quite as predictable as this.
Yeah, because they follow a certain structure, don't they? These films, they kind of go, first act, low point, middle point, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know how it goes.
You could be like, oh, it's just for kids though.
All right, okay,
all right. I don't know.
I mean, maybe we're being a bit too analytical on it, but then I've seen so many.
That's what we do.
Yeah, but because
I can't look at it from the mind of a child, can I?
No, but I mean, 20s. I guess if you maybe not this film, but you can see the view of a child if, like, I don't know, say you're going to watch The Little Mermaid. I watched that when I was like 5. I know how it felt when I watched it when I was 5. Probably.
Yeah, and that film slaps.
Yeah, that film's great. But like, I think this film could have the same sort of significance to somebody else.
This is fun enough for a kid. Sure. Probably.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah,
not.
my cousin had a great time.
I know Sonic from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. He's there. He was in it.
That was another film that was fine for kids.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of, I guess that's kind of the point, isn't it? I guess it wasn't a movie made for us. Us in, you know, obviously the grown-up stage where we don't have children and we are, you know, not exactly tied into the whole Wreck-It Ralph kind of
But then
thing. Because I know people my age who love this film, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I liked it when it came out, and I was like 15.
yeah. Parents take their kids to watch these movies. There's got to be something in there for the parents so they don't fall asleep.
Yeah. And I think they probably do have a good time watching these kinds of films.
Yeah, I feel like the whole.
Because I know my mum does. She watches these with the kids at the school, and she finds most of them.
I feel like
okay.
the whole idea of it being like referencing these old retro video games, that's very much for
that is
the
for the
older people.
adults, because the
This
kids
kind
don't
of-
know it.
This came out like right at the peak of like when retro video games were like cool and everyone was talking about them and like rediscovering them.
It's a shame they never made
Kind
a
of-
Space Invader game, innit?
Or what?
Space Invaders game. The game? I meant movie. Oh, God.
There's a lot of like the sound effects in the film are taken from games as well.
It's a nice touch, though,
Like, I
doing
think
that kind of thing.
Fix It Felix's jump sounds like the sound from like this really obscure Mario game, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that kind of
Something
thing.
I also really liked in it, the laser sound effects in the Heroes Duty game were taken from the opening scene of Terminator 2.
Yeah.
It's like the same laser sounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice. We'd rather watch T2, but
Yeah.
Mm.
I never like when a character like has some sort of epiphany or like figures something out because somebody else says a word. Like Vanellope, like she's been like called a glitch the entire movie, and then like when she's fighting King Candy or whatever on the racetrack, he goes, fuck you, you glitch. And then she's like, glitch, that's it. And her problem's solved because he said the word glitch. So she like glitches into a different spot and causes a car crash. I always hate that when movies do that.
Yeah. It's just lazy.
It's lazy as hell. Oh, glitch, that's it. Maybe I'll just glitch. Like, okay.
See, you could almost let that slide, though, if that was the first time it happened. But if someone had called you a glitch the whole way through, would you not have thought about that before? Or I don't get that. That's just convenience, though, isn't it, I suppose?
What if I did that thing that I do sometimes?
Oh, yeah, that thing that I do every day. It's not like she can't remind herself either. Like, she's literally doing it all the time. It's like sneezing and then being like... Oh.
Now I can control it because I'm great. I'm like Nightcrawler from X-Men.
We're going to get a lot of flack for this, lads.
It's a really strange usage of pop music just randomly later in the film. Like,
What was
out
that
of
song that was
nowhere,
playing?
Shut Up and Drive by Rihanna plays. And like, at that
Slaps.
point, it had only been like Henry Jackson's his like score. And then just randomly out of nowhere, Shut Up and Drive plays.
That song is sick,
Obviously, you got
though.
the
It's for real.
Owl City song at the end as well.
It's called See You Again. Thank you.
Yeah.
When can I see you again?
Yeah, the Rihanna song was like really weird. I don't know why they put it in there.
Yeah, I guess I could have understood it if it was like a song that had just come out that was big, but it was a song that came out like 4 or 5 years prior.
Right, but let me tell you something, right? You guys have not seen the Emoji Movie, but I tell you right now, I saw that movie, and there was one scene that was worse than anything I've ever seen in these kids' films. They were singing, but they were like reading a text message to Rihanna's Diamonds, like as if someone had written a text down. It was just the lyrics to Diamonds.
Oh.
So if anyone talks about weird, obscure like pop songs, I think of that scene and I just think it could be so much worse.
Well, yeah. I mean, a lot of this movie could be a lot worse. It could also be a lot better. And I think that they included the Shut Up and Drive song because it was about driving.
They
Yeah.
were
and then,
driving at the time, so it makes sense.
And Vanellope was driving. So I think that's why they did it. It's quite subtle. A lot of people might not pick up on it.
Yeah, no one else
But
would
I
have understood
understood
that. Yeah. I don't know who that part was for though, because kids who are quite young probably don't know that song, and the adults probably don't know that song either. So I'm not sure like what that
Maybe
was for.
teenagers.
Yeah, maybe.
We noticed it. Thanks, Rihanna.
We love you.
Love you, Rihanna.
I actually don't really have anything to say, to be honest with you guys.
Do you like when King Candy says, "Here's your medal, Ralph"? And he gives him the medal. He's like, "All you got to do is hear me out." Like, you already gave him the medal, though.
Yeah, that was weird.
He could just leave. He could just walk away. But he does hear him out. I'm like, why did you do that? I guess it's because he's an idiot.
What a riot.
Because he's stupid. Like, none of this would have happened if Ralph wasn't a dumbass. But it's a good thing he was.
Yeah.
Oh,
Only other thing I'd add, I guess, is the voice acting is good.
Yeah.
But that's kind of
Yeah.
expected from like Pixar or Disney or any of these like big budget animated movies. The voice acting is, you expect it to be good. But I do like John C. Reilly a lot in the movie.
Yeah, he's decent.
Yeah, to be honest, that's all I could hear though was John C.
Yeah.
Reilly. But that's nothing on him. He just has that kind of voice where you can't. It's like Jane Lynch. Like you can't hear nothing but them.
Yeah, sort of. It's a shame. I don't like when they just use like regular like screen actors to be voice actors. They're not voice actors.
No.
I said this before about something not that long ago, because I actually do believe that it kind of ruins it a little bit, because they don't, and it's not their fault, because like you said, they're not voice actors, but it kind of ruins the illusion a little bit that I'm watching a character and not someone voicing one.
When we're watching Madagascar.
Yeah, exactly. Madagascar has the same problem. In fact, quite a lot of problems are in these movies.
Yeah. So neither of you have seen the sequel, have you? Ralph Breaks the Internet.
No, I hadn't even seen this.
Yeah. Ralph Breaks the Internet is probably the worst Disney movie.
Are you sure? Are you sure though? Like, and I'm
Yeah.
only saying that right because you've got the other Disney like sequels, like The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2 and all that kind of stuff.
Like,
What do you mean, like modern?
no,
what do you mean?
Disney, like made by the main Disney animation studio, not like
Right, yeah.
because they had that division that made like all the
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking
sequels.
about. I totally understand what you're saying.
I'm talking more about films that are part of their animated classics.
This is an
line.
animated classic.
Yeah.
What, the
Anything-
second one?
Yeah, anything made by their main studio is an animated classic. And Ralph Breaks the Internet is absolutely god awful. It's just
Do you-
really cringy, outdated internet references.
Oh
that
yeah,
have
isn't it a
clearly
bit like Ready Player One in the fact that
It
it
is
goes more
basically-
into that?
It's basically just Ready Player One, but Disney.
Yeah, but is
there's
it better than that?
No, Ready Player One's actually better.
No.
There's loads of they've got like pretty much every Disney princess in there at one point.
Okay.
Loads of people
Oh yeah,
reprise
look,
their
there's
roles.
he's holding a cursor on the poster.
Yeah.
Also, my phone's in black and white, so just ignore that.
It's like clearly written by someone who doesn't understand the internet and doesn't know how to use it.
Was the Smosh movie better?
No.
I only said that because there's something about a video in here, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs money to. Oh, that's it. The Fix It Felix game is being sold on eBay, like a game console, and Ralph was like, "Oh, we have to buy it so it doesn't get sold." But he has to make money. He has to make a viral video on YouTube.
Oh, so it is the Smosh movie then.
Pretty much, it's basically the same plot.
There's a review from IHE that just says astonishingly bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
That's it. That's the whole review.
Well, brilliant.
So yeah, if you didn't like this one, Max, I think you'd actually cry watching Ralph Breaks the
Well, I'm not
Internet.
going to watch it, so yeah. I didn't even want to watch this, really. I mean, it was a video game movie, so I was like, well, it's not going to be good, is it? Even though it's like not based on a video game, it's like just got video game qualities to it. You know,
Oh,
and
maybe I
characters
should have
and all
picked
that.
Need for Speed after all.
Last thing I'll say is, on the topic of video game movies, I don't understand the need to make every successful video game into a movie as though movies are a superior art form to video games. Like, they operate on their own different levels, right? Like, what? Just because like a video game does very well, it doesn't mean you need to make it a TV show or a movie.
Of course not.
It's just a different artistic expression, you know?
Yeah, I wish I could
It's like
tell
a
you
different way of
why they do
experiencing
it.
Like, I wouldn't even say necessarily it's a terrible idea, because obviously we see things like stories and stuff get adapted into different mediums all the time. But the problem is basically every video game movie is just, they don't try and do anything interesting with the story. I've heard the recent Uncharted movie is a good example of that, where it's clearly made by people who just don't care.
But that's what I think it comes down to. It's not the fact that people are making films about video games. It's the fact that they're only doing it because the games were successful and they're like, we can make money from it. It's all it ever comes down to, isn't it? Yeah, it's all it ever is.
There's a Halo TV show coming out soon, and the early reviews have all said it's just really cash grabby and they clearly don't understand the game at all.
Yeah. And that's why I think they should start leaving stuff like this alone, because I think it takes more money to lose as well to make these things than it is to just leave it the fuck alone.
I think they seldom ever like make like video games based on movies though. It's weird that it just goes in like one direction.
They used to.
Sometimes they did. Back in the 2000s, I swear they made video games out of every film.
10, 15 years ago, like basically every
film had a game.
Game.
All right.
Honestly, they really did.
Like, all the superhero movies, all the like Disney and Pixar and DreamWorks movies.
All of them did.
Like big action movies all had them. It's only recently that it's stopped being a thing because the games weren't very popular anymore.
I guess so.
And now they're like doing it the other way around because they're like, oh, people watch films.
I rescind what I said, Vin. Yeah, that is true.
There's still like occasional exceptions. I think DreamWorks still do games based on their films.
Yeah, like those Shrek games that you play for your gaming channel.
Yeah, there's Kung Fu Panda ones, there's How to Train Your Dragon ones, there's Madagascar ones.
I feel like they're often just like thrown together though. I don't know.
Yeah, they are.
Probably.
I will be interested to see Gore Verbinski is doing a Bioshock. I don't know if it's a film or TV show for Netflix. Be interested to see what he does with that. I don't think it will be good, but I think it will probably be interesting at least. I don't really like any of his stuff, but I do think he's a director who puts a lot of time, effort, and money into his projects. You can constantly tell that he's put a lot of passion into whatever he makes, even if the final result isn't very good.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what you need when you're adapting something. You need someone who actually is trying.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's better to see someone who actually gives a shit but didn't do it very well, and then to see someone who did it not very well and still not give a shit about it.
And there's no passion, it shows.
Yeah.
That's what makes The Room so well loved, isn't it? That they clearly gave a fuck about it, but it's just executed so badly.
Yeah.
Ratings?
Yeah.
Sure.
What we're going to rate this one out of?
Darcy?
Vanilla Peas.
Okay.
Sure. It's not a bad movie, I'd say. I think it's okay. Not one of my favorite Disney movies, not one of my least favorites, just kind of mid-tier. It's fine. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but it's all right. I give it like a 6 Vanilla Peas out of 10.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad movie and I don't like it and I'm not going to watch it again. Fuck you, Disney. I'll give it 4 Vanilla Peas out of 10. Shit sucked.
I thought it was okay. It was wholesome. It served its purpose, but yeah, I've seen it done a million times, and to be honest, I've seen it done better as well, so I'm going to give it a 7 Vanilla Peas. I completely forgot to say Vanilla Pea. Why is her name Vanellope and not Penelope? That bothers me also.
It's quirky and funny.
Giggles. Alright, go on, Chris.
Yes, so now we got the next one to do. Those were the video game movies. Oh boy, what a time.
They were a time.
For episode 72, we're going to spin a wheel. That's going to tell us what we're going to do for the next one. Darcy is going away forever. So
forever and ever.
Based on this, it will tell us whether she will stay with us or not.
It's come up with a director special for Damien Chazelle.
Who can you even tell me a single movie that I can even?
Yeah, La La Land.
There's 3.
Okay.
There is 3. Okay.
Oh, so there is only 3. There's no options.
Actually, no. He has another movie. He had a debut before Whiplash, I think.
Oh, I really like Whiplash.
But like the main 3 are Whiplash, La La Land, and First Man.
Can we do something else?
Yeah.
It's very limited, you know. I like all those
it kind
movies.
of forces you to watch the only films that he's got.
I already know what I think of those anyway. They're all great.
The John Wick trilogy.
Sure. We could do that. Any objections?
I don't have any. I'm sure Darcy won't be joining us for this one, but
I don't even know if can I? Like, is there even a way for me to watch it?
Probably. Yeah, maybe not. Who knows?
We'll look into it.
Yeah, we'll look into it. That's fine. We'll do the John Wick trilogy then. That's on episode 72. Oh boy. John Wick. That's that. Thank you for listening. We have social media. Who doesn't? We are YouTube, the Sunday Movie Marathon. Twitter.
What the fuck?
Is it Sunday Movie Pod? Facebook. Is it Sunday Movie Marathon? And Letterboxd, if you got that, is at Sunday MM. Capital S, capital MM. If you feel like it, why not? Maybe you don't. Catch you on the next go round. Anybody got anything left to say about video games?
They're epic.
Cheers.
But it looks like you're easier giving $600,000 if you make a movie about some retarded wizard in the forest or for another, whatever, Marvel Avengers bullshit dirt. So goodbye and goodbye Hollywood.